vagina, more than that at 11.
Vaginas.
Hey guys, this is Scarce here. Lots of news today, lots of exposure, and double upload.
Expose, 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 expose.
You're exposed. You're exposed. You are exposed. Expose, 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 expose. You are exposed, sir. I'm gonna expose you. Expose you. Oh my god, expose you.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I am completely pissed. I was gonna write a script for this video. Why am I still getting hate?
Hey, what's up guys, it's Scarce here, and so from now on, I am going to report the news. Let's go inside the stories!
Expose, 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 expose.
You're exposed. You're exposed. You are exposed. Expose, 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 expose. You are exposed, sir. I'm gonna expose you. Expose you. Oh my god, expose you.
Expose, 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 expose.
It's time for some exposure. Some exposure. Some exposure. Expose. Expose myself to you. To you. To you. E-X-P-O-S-E. Expose.
Expose, 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 expose,
Exposed. Exposed. Hashtag drama alert. There's news to expose. Hashtag breaking. SS Sniper Wolf has a vagina. More than that at 11.
Vaginas.
Hey guys, this is Scarce here. Lots of news today, lots of exposure, and double upload.
Expose, 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 expose.
You're exposed. You're exposed. You are exposed. Expose, 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 expose. You are exposed, sir. I'm gonna expose you. Expose you. Oh my god, expose you.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I am completely pissed. I was gonna write a script for this video. Why am I still getting hate?
Hey, what's up guys, it's Scarce here, and so from now on, I am going to report the news. Let's go inside the stories!
Expose, 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 expose.
You're exposed. You're exposed. You are exposed. Expose, 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 expose. You are exposed, sir. I'm gonna expose you. Expose you. Oh my god, expose you.
Expose, 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 expose.
It's time for some exposure. Some exposure. Some exposure. Expose. Expose myself to you. To you. To you. E-X-P-O-S-E. Expose.
Expose, expose.
this sniper wolf has a vagina. More on that at 11.
Vaginas.
Hey guys, it's Scarce here. Lots of news today, lots of exposure, and double uploads.
Expose. 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 Expose.
You're exposed. You're exposed. You are exposed. Expose, 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 expose. You are exposed, sir. I'm going to expose you. Expose you. Oh my god, expose you.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I am completely pissed. I was gonna write a script for this video. Why am I still getting hate?
Hey, what's up guys, it's Scarce here, and so from now on, I am going to report the news. Let's go inside the stories!
Expose. 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 Expose.
You're exposed. You're exposed. You are exposed. Expose, 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 expose. You are exposed, sir. I'm going to expose you. Expose you. Oh my god, expose you.
Expose. 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 Expose.
It's time for some exposure. Some exposure. Some exposure. Ah, expose. Expose myself to you. To you. To you. E-X-P-O-S-E. Expose.
Expose. Expose. Expose. Expose. Expose. Expose. Expose. Expose. Expose. Expose. Expose. Expose.
Exposed. Exposed.
So the first thing I start to and we are goddamn live. What's up, everybody?
What is good, everyone? Shit.
Technically, I was supposed to start at 8:30. People were being like, "Come on, Rich, what the fuck are you doing?"
8:30. You're only like what? 3
Oh, it's
minutes late
8:30.
in
No,
that?
we're
Oh,
actually
shit.
exactly on time.
You're on time.
Well, I did start it at like 8:20 with everything off. Expose the giggity, the cherry poppers. We got Brightburn, we got T-Joe, and I am joined by two very special guests. I know Slushii. We've been talking for like years on and off, and this is the first time. You are actually on tour right now. I am very jealous, you lucky son of a bitch, for doing music, which is awesome. And obviously, I am joined here by some ordinary gamers. We were
hey, what's up?
and we were talking about crack dealers and people getting shot. It was a heartwarming story that we were discussing, and climate change.
Climate change. This thing that divides everyone, man.
Uh,
It's kind of wild with climate change. I remember being a kid, and this was during the whole Al Gore like inconvenient truth, because they showed that to us in school and everything. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of like for us, we grew up and we looked at it like evolution. You know what I mean? Like, who argues evolution? Like, it's pretty much fucking proven at the end of the day. But I guess that's what it is now. It's like, I don't know. It's difficult, especially like I'm not a intelligent guy in politics. I fully admit it, 100%. So I don't really like to talk about it. There's just a few things that like climate change, I guess, is the one thing I really do actually care about, and that's pretty much what it is. I definitely believe in it, but I don't know.
It's just so weird to, like, you see something actually happening around you, and then people are like, "No, it's not." Like,
It's like whatever. It's
right
not
there.
real.
It's right fucking there.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like, when there's people, we were talking about this before the stream started, that are literally dying of COVID, and they're about to go on a ventilator, and the doctor's like, "You're dying of COVID." No, I'm not dying of COVID. That's
Yeah. I don't know. There's some people you just can't really reason with, Like when I think of COVID-19. You know what I mean? The entire like pandemic itself. For me, I look at it in the way that there was a period in my life where I was like, man, it just seems like it's really, really like, it's all we talk about. You know, it's like we're locked inside and maybe it's not as bad, but then, you know, you start looking into the entire scenario and you're like, man, I mean, I guess I just want it to be over soon. I'm not a COVID denier or anything, but it's just like, man, I want it to be over soon. I want like these vaccines to kick in and I want to be able to like travel again and go back to some semblance of a normal life instead of, you know, being locked behind, you know, this constant.
You have to overthink
separation.
about everything. Slushii, how the hell has that affected you with touring?
Well, so we're kind of like just getting back to the whole swing of things now. But like, you know, before it was just like they had like pod shows where you would go and everybody would be in their car, or like, you know, it would just be like a drive-in rave, or you know, a scenario where there's like just like pockets of people surrounded by like a rail. But now we're, you know, it's kind of weird. It's like full swing again, and there's just like, you know, unregulated masses of people. Like I try to wear my mask and stuff, you know, going in between places and like leaving and entering super quick, like clocking in, clocking out type of deal. But it's like, you know, it's really, really difficult to kind of stay distance, I guess.
Yeah. And I just want to let you know we're not going to be sitting here talking about COVID USA. It's just kind of like what we're rolling into right before we
COVID tech panel.
Yeah, we're not going to drive you fucking insane with it. It's just, you know what's funny now? I got to start masking up again because I think it's going to be required in New York. But like, because I got vaxxed.
It's going to be required here soon, yeah.
I'm vaxxed, so I've been like walking and getting my steps in without a mask. And dude, people look at me like I'm walking around naked. Like it's like, oh my God, you're walking without a mask. I bet you he didn't even get a vaccination. So that's the other weird thing too. It's like, you know, I feel like I'm walking around with my dick out because I'm, you know, don't have a mask on. People literally, dude, they look at you like, what is he doing?
I'm glad my city isn't up to that yet. I mean, I still give people weird looks when they're in their car by themselves masking up. I'm like, all right, what are you really achieving there? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, what is with the mask? Like, dude, if I'm in my car, like, dude, I've seen dudes in their cars by themselves. It's like,
by themselves.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like, what are you really achieving in that regard? What the fuck?
Maybe they fart and they don't want to breathe in their own ass air. That's like, you're not. What are you protecting? The fuck your car from your own shit? Like, what are you doing?
Somebody's like asked me about the Amico. Oh man, that's actually a great way to get away from it. Oof. Is that the Intellivision thing by Tommy Tallarico?
Oh, I would love to hear your take on that. I'd love to, do you know about that?
Ferrari Tallarico driving you around, telling you about the Amico. Yeah, I know a lot about that.
Yeah. All right, I'll explain my take and then I'll get both of yours so people understand. I always say this first. I still have my fucking pre-order for the Amico. I don't want to see it fail. Why the fuck would I want to see anything fail? What does it mean to me if something succeeds or it fails? If anything, I would want more competition, even though it's its own niche. In the beginning, I was cautiously optimistic, and then I see games that look like Flash games for it. So I'm sorry that I'm going to have fucking concerns. Okay, I'm done. They've all heard my take before I'll let you two talk.
Man, I honestly, like, for $100, I don't think it's, like, bad if you go in with the expectation you're just gonna get like mobile games on it anyways.
It's $250. You know that, right?
Oh wait, it's $250.
Oh,
you didn't know that? Yes.
Oh, I always just looked at the thing for $100. Oh, that's the deposit. You're right. It's $250 USD. Oh, fuck that.
I was like, wait, recalibrate everything here. It's $250. It's Xbox Series S and Switch territory. Now continue.
$250. Yeah, just buy a fucking Series S. Oh my god. Oh, Series S is so much better for your fucking money, dude. Holy shit. Get a Game Pass and an Xbox. Call it a day. Fuck that.
Yeah.
I'm out of here. But I think what they're doing is they're banking off of like just nostalgia. But how much nostalgia is an Intellivision gonna fucking bring? Like, I didn't even grow up with a fucking Intellivision. And Rich, I don't think you barely care about the Intellivision original.
I'm the old fuck here that barely. And even back then, like, we had an Atari. I was like 3 playing an Atari. Like, it was a competitor to the Atari, but it was a niche. It's not like, even though Atari ended up taking a shit later on after the Jaguar, people know the Atari name because the 2600 was successful. The 2600 was successful, and that everything else kind of had they had their ST computers, and that's it. No one really knows the Intellivision by the name, but even who gives a shit beyond that, and even who even gives a shit it has a mid-range processor from 2016. You were supposed to already launch the product. It wasn't.
Do you get the Atari VCS?
Yes, I have.
Isn't that like actually okay though? Isn't that pretty decent from what I heard? Because you can like mod it pretty easily, right? You can just like fucking
it's just
sideload.
a dual core APU from fucking, and it's literally, I shit you not, it's a bottom of the barrel dual core Zen. It's based on Zen Plus. It can, and they actually were trying to show it PC gaming running like Overwatch at low settings 720p at like 30 FPS. I'm like, yes, that is peak PC gaming right there.
Wait, did it have Windows 10 built in? Didn't they ship it with Linux?
No, and here's the other thing. Here's the other thing that hurts my head. Okay, so they give you an NVMe slot, but you can't. So you have, what does it have? Like 64 gigabytes of storage. I'm sure someone in the comments will know something super low, and it's eMMC memory. So it's as slow. I can't think of anything witty right now, but it's slow as shit. So you're thinking, all right, I could upgrade it with an NVMe slot. Cool. No, you have to use an external drive if you want to run Windows 10 on it. If you want to do it without modding. Yeah.
Hey, how does that work? Wait, no. How does that work? Wait, does the the BIOS not recognize the NVMe when you're booting it?
That's what they say. They I've watched the reviews and I've read, and they said you cannot put Windows 10 on the NVMe. You have to put it on an external drive, like on a USB. So you have to have like something dangling from your Atari VCS. It's a pretty system. I'll probably go get it in a couple minutes when I have to piss. It's nice looking.
So it's like Muda, no joke, it runs Cyberpunk? No, it doesn't. No, dual core shit. Fuck
dude,
that.
it can't even. And the weirdest thing about it is they have a piece of software called Ant Online, which is actually pretty decent, but it has the games that you cloud game on it are like Mortal Kombat. A fucking potato could run Mortal Kombat, so why do I need to have cloud gaming to play Mortal Kombat from 1992? Like, it's just weird, man.
They don't even just install the ROMs, man. Fuck that.
Yeah, it's you could get them on the Switch. Slushii has his fucking Switch. He can play all the Atari games they give you right there.
Slushy's not even fucking streaming it from Nintendo cloud servers, which is the other best part.
Yeah, you could just get their game like Mortal Kombat. I actually think there is a trilogy package on the Switch. You could get it. Like, why? What am I doing with this thing? It's nice.
Oh, it's so good.
You know what the Intellivision thing reminds me of, man? Is like, you know when you go like to the store and shit, and on the PS4 section you'll find like Sega Classic Collection. That's what the Intellivision should have been. It should have just been like a $40 like PS4 disc of games that you could just buy and play. Like 40 games, call it a day.
Oh, here is I'm going to add some pepper to the shit stew of the Amico. Is that according to Tommy, they did, and maybe this is true, but if it is true, they got the worst place to do this survey ever. The reason they raised the price is because they said it seems more substantial at $250 than it did at like $149 because people were spending more money.
What marketing team?
About it?
Whoever goes, man, I feel so much better that I spent more money on something.
Rich people with a lot of cash to burn, that's what.
I have never in my life, I've talked about this before, I've never in my life said, oh, thank you, God, I spent $50 on this mouse as opposed to $25.
You know what's worth more than the $250? Here, I'll show you real quick. Fucking right here. They could have just bought themselves one of these PS Vitas. Like, this is cheaper than the $250.
Yes.
Buy one of these, get yourself the SD card, like, and modify it. That's it. It's the best you can ever get. The OLED Vita, this is it's cheaper than the fucking than the Intellivision. You can play all your Intellivision games on this too.
And the thing about I also heard about it too is that the motion technology is not there yet. They had to cut it down. That's why that game. Everyone was very excited for the game of Cornhole. Yes, the game is literally called Cornhole. And as stupid as the fucking name is, it actually looked like it was going to be fun. But then they took away, like, now instead of actually throwing your cornhole, whatever the fuck you're throwing, you're just sitting there moving it like it's a mouse. So, oh, that's great. It went from actually feeling like you're throwing something to just clicking to go to one side to the other. That is amazing.
I am watching the games that are apparently on the launch title. Y'all are being way too nice about this system. This looks like fucking dog shit. What the fuck, man?
What I think it is. Now there is a couple games that actually look there's a remake they're making of a game where it's like 4 players and you're throwing shit at each other.
I'm more interested in the controller for the thing. That looks kind of cool, I guess. That's about it. Other than that, I don't know. It just seems like everything on this, man, is like you could just get on a fucking iPhone or something running, you know?
Well, their thing is, but I don't think it's enough, is that they want to get people to play in like the same living room again. But you can do that on the other consoles, not obviously the newest ones at this point. But, you know, I don't know. I've never had a dearth Slushii of games that I could play like...
That's so weird too. Like, I literally played Master Chief Collection with my brother on my new Xbox right over here. Like, we moved in, we were just playing cooperative together after I moved in. Like, so I don't understand. Like, people are still couch co-oping. Like, it still exists, you know? Like, it's not... I mean, sure, it's probably lessened, but that's probably due to the fact that game developers want you to buy multiple games and multiple, you know, systems and licenses, but...
And plus, times have changed. Now that everyone has an internet connection, guess what you could do? You could just sit your fucking ass at home. Most people are anti-social fucks. I am. You could do... They rather just play and have a headset on, or not even have a headset on, and just shoot someone else's fucking face off.
Dude, I turned this so I turned my graphic card into like 4 different graphic cards. You got me on the whole split screen thing. So Nvidia, holy shit, these guys, man, I'm telling you. So you know how they have Rich, you've worked in the space. You know what like SRIOV is, right? Like graphic cards, like GPU partitioning and stuff like that, right? So Nvidia just has it on all their graphic cards. They don't want to fucking unlock it because they want you to buy the 20 grand Tesla P1 graphic cards or whatever they're selling. Dude, took me like 15 minutes, and now I'm running like 4 fucking virtual machines with like fucking different like same graphic card and everything, dude. Split screening GTA Online to get absolutely fucking destroyed by all the you know, free to play Randys on that game. But still, the fact that you're able to like, you know, do that on GPUs now, the whole idea of split screen, that's the kind of shit, man, I'm telling you.
How much stress does it running all the virtual machines off the same GPU? Does it, how much is
No, the way the partitioning works is that it's not like you're running a GPU at 400% load or it's setting on fire. Actually, if you have like a 3090, so I'm using that right now, instead of it being, you know how we buy GPUs where it's like, the 3090 is a 4K card? Well, by partitioning it, it becomes a 1080p card because the performance output of it is more equivalent to... Like, it limits performance on each card, but I mean, it's a powerful enough system to support 1080p on, like, streams across different games, for sure.
What do you use for a CPU with that setup?
Right now I have my i9 9900K, which is not the best to have anymore. It's a fairly old CPU, so I'm thinking of getting myself I'm thinking of getting myself those new Ryzen 9s. Like the highest end, like Ryzen 9s, or I almost thought of getting a Threadripper as well too, but that's mostly for a server rack that I have downstairs, because I do, like, now I'm into, like, you know, programming again, like fucking all that shit, so I have like a server rack downstairs, but that's mostly for that. Gaming wise, I think I'm gonna get the 9. I just need something with enough threads, you know. Like, I looked at the Threadripper and it's just like, it's 128 threads. It's not clocked that well.
Yeah, it's just, I have I have the first gen Threadripper here, and it's fine. Like, it does. I'm not feeling, oh man, it's just those 16 cores are just not doing it for me. You know,
someone in the chat's like, the 9900K is still plenty powerful. It's not the power, it's the threads that I need, because when you're running virtual machines, you want to have an amount of threads to pass through.
And the more cores, the better too. Yeah.
Yeah, because each core you pass through, you have to pass the 2 threads. You can't just, like, take away... Like, you know how it's like, even if it's hyper-threaded, you still need to pass the logical core through with the physical core, otherwise it fucks a fair amount of things up. Plus, you need to have one core just for the Linux hypervisor above to operate. I mean, you don't, but that's just that's just so the scheduler doesn't fucking fight with each other. You know, it's like Windows wants to do something and Linux is like, no, I want to do something. So you have to learn to partition things away. You should get an i9. I don't think I'm gonna get Intel, man. Intel's fucking disappointing me these days. They're not doing shit.
So a cherry pop in the stream. Thank you very much, Joe. Expose the giggity. Thank you very much, Peter. Is shirtless move? We're not getting shirtless this stream, damn it. We were. I was shirtless with Boogie, and I was shirtless with Camelot, but the nips are staying at bay. It's the Daddy Rich and Uncle Mudahar show. We got Slushii here too. We're gonna let him get the floors. Slushii, I love you, dude. I need you. Haha, but I discovered your music through Rocket League. You have great stuff.
Oh yeah. I can't really speak to thread ripping, but I just sold my PS5 to get a J-tagged PS3, and I've been playing Black Ops 3 split screen for the past like.
Oh my God, you're going to make people angry here. You sold your PS5 to get a PS3?
Yeah, you want to know why? I have an HDTV, and the input lag, for whatever reason, they didn't patch it or fix it or whatever. So I was playing. Okay, don't crucify me. I bought my PS5 to play Fortnite at 60 FPS, and you know, I couldn't play Minecraft without input lag. Like the new Spider-Man game, I played it on PS4 already. Like it's basically for me, it's like a, you know, all of the like whatchamacallit, the like Demon Souls, all the other exclusive games that came out. You know, like I don't know, I came up with Ghost of Tsushima and like Spider-Man PS4. So I don't know. I just downgraded back to my PS4 Pro for that one.
Because there's like literally no fucking game right now on PS5 worth getting. You know what I was playing literally before that shitty abandoned trailer or whatever? Assassin's Creed 2 on a fucking PS5, man. I mean, there's just nothing.
That's the thing with this generation is, first off, I have to say, I wish I could had the time to get into Demon Souls. I suck too much at game anyway. But there's like when you look at the next gen systems, and I know every generation starts off slow, but it's like
this one started off pretty slow.
it like failed to launch almost completely. Demon Souls was a remake, and there was Spider-Man's Miles Morales, which was DLC for the 2018 Spider-Man. Let's just keep it real, but they're just literally upgrading games. They're just like, hey, we're patching Doom. You have ray tracing. Hey, we're now Ghost of Tsushima runs at 60 FPS.
Like,
hey,
is that a reason to fucking scalp? Like, all right, like everybody in the comments is like, oh, PS5, whatever. Why are you buying $1,000 scalped console to play Ghost of Tsushima at 4K? Like everybody who's like, oh, PS5 best console. Like the PS4 Pro is literally the PS5. Same games. So what? I can play Resident Evil 8. I can play Spider-Man Miles Morales. All these games on my PS4, and I don't have an 8K TV anyway, so it doesn't fucking matter. I don't know.
I think the most I played on my PlayStation 5, like next generation wise, is probably Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And I mean, I can probably fucking sit here for 3 hours screaming about how much that game is so far off the mark from Assassin's Creed. Like next to Tom Clancy at Ubisoft, that's just like fucking the name they attach to anything for sales. But that's about the most I played, and it's like, yeah, it's 60 frames. Yeah, it's like 4K, you know, like the temporal 4K, whatever the fuck they pitch now. But it's like, if I bought it on PS4 Pro, like I had my old PS4 Pro, yeah, I'd be playing at half the frame rate, but I'm like, man, I kind of just don't care. This is the end of the day. It would have been the same game.
Or you could just play games on your 3090 and play them at 4K, at least high settings all day. You know
how hot this fucker gets in this room? Dude? This thing is a sauna.
Who makes your 3090?
Mine is the EVGA FTW, the one that was popping because of the Amazon MMO. That same brand, FTW.
Yeah, oh yeah, me too. That's the one I have too. Yes, it makes you, dude. I forget to turn because I have to keep this fucking air conditioner on 7 days a week, 365. If there's a couple times I forget to turn it on, I come in this room and it's like. Like
I downclock this card because it gets too hot. Like when I'm not using it, I go to the GPU tuner and I'm like all the way back,
Ooh, that's a good idea. Yeah, but
Yep.
I literally come in and like my shirt is soaked, like I just a fat man went for a jog. because that's how hot his room gets. Because
Dude, it's such a powerful enough card that even though I downclock it, because I mostly edit in front of my computer anyway, so if I'm doing After Effects, which GPUs use now, even with like the most underclocked 3090, it's still just destroying anything else, you know?
Yeah, you're never gonna, at least as of yet, for the foreseeable future, that card is still going to be super powerful. So
you're getting a Titan for that price, you know, nowadays. I mean, the value you get on these cards, if you get them retail, is pretty good. If you get them retail, of course.
Yeah, you know what they screwed up though? The 3080 Ti.
Wait, is that? Oh yeah.
It's the price. Like, I was hoping they were going to have like 16 gigs without getting super technical, and 16 gigs of GDDR5 or 6 in there or whatever it is, 6X. They actually only went with 12. It's like not enough of a bump from and they charge too much for it.
It's like, why are they giving you 12 gigabytes when you think about like how big texture settings are going to get later on? Like, you should probably, because the whole idea of VRAM is like you take the resolution target and you think about how much you're going to stuff that thing with the texture memory. So it's like if you're not being proper on that, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're giving people.
I rolled my eyes at 10 gigs on the 3080. I was like, this is supposed to be your mainstream flagship card in 2021. 10 gigs. You could already max out games and they'll go past 8 gigs, way more. Yeah, so I don't know. It's weird. Nvidia is cheap with how much VRAM they put in their cards. Oh, excuse me. Algorithm farts cure the Earth of its climate problems. So one fart equals one prayer for our ozone layer. 420 nose scoping weed from an ass. Thank you, Google Fish.
Wow.
That's always a good name to fucking have.
That was fucking poetry. It's proven that when a temperature hits 97 Fahrenheit, there is a thunderstorm right away. I mean, for God's sake, Virginia got 4 thunderstorms in the last 4. I'm not a meteorologist. I'm just a man with an ass.
Somebody says that you regret buying your Series S from a scalper. What?
Who?
Wait, how much was the Series S from the scalper? What are they scalping that? Because I can pick up a Series S pretty easily around here.
I think in the beginning they were selling like Series S's for $500. I was like, I like literally begged my fucking audience not to.
See, I bought a scalped Xbox Series X, but the guy only scalped it by $20 because they just kept slipping the price down. Like, I drove over there.
So what the hell was even the point?
I don't know, because nobody was buying the Series X. Actually, when I went over there to buy the thing, he was like pricing it up by 50. I'm like, I'm paying you $50 extra. I'll give you like 20 extra. That's what I have on me.
Yeah.
Fuck you scalping fuck. And then they eventually sold it because he had the thing since it launched out. It was like an unopened Series X, and I was like, all right, cool. I'll just give you the extra 20, whatever.
That's
what
happened.
No, go ahead. I said I would have spent the 20 on gas money anyways, driving to the fucking Best Buy. So
yeah,
whatever.
well, there you go. You actually like I remember with the PS3 that was getting scalped initially, and then they realized that in the beginning anyway, no one fucking wanted one, so they were sitting around collecting dust. So that
PS5s though, are they selling any of those scalped systems? Because it just feels like they're sitting in a fucking garage somewhere collecting dust.
Apparently so, because you could still go on eBay and buy one way overpriced.
Yeah.
Dude, every time Sony says we're selling the fuck out of the PS5, I'm like, okay, tell me how many are activated, by the way. How many are running on PlayStation Network? Like, how many were sold, and then how many actually got registered on the internet? What the fuck? How many could you ping?
And I guarantee you that's a very good point. I think I saw an article back show how many people are actually buying games. What's the attach rate of these systems? Because a lot of them are probably being bought by scalpers, and no one's. I think actually Sony said in the UK they were alarmed because they weren't selling enough games.
Dude, everyone keeps saying like Ratchet and Clank is well, look, the new Ratchet and Clank game is good. It's not, dude. I don't think it's worth buying a fucking PlayStation 5 over, man. Like, it's. I don't know. I played the new Ratchet and Clank game. It was just it feels like something I would have played on the PS4. Like, it's whatever. Like,
yeah,
it has ray tracing, so it looks nicer, I guess.
Yeah, it's good, but it's. I mean, unless you're a diehard Ratchet and Clank fan, it's not a reason to buy a PS5. Stupid joke, but what happens to COVIDs 1 through 8? How did we jump to COVID-19? Answer me, green-haired man.
Because the 7, 8, 9.
Yes! You get a fucking applause for that one. There you go. I have no idea what just happened right there.
It was like Ratchet and Clank is 5 hours and 40% cutscenes. I agree, actually. That game had way too much going on. At least it was better than the PS4 one, where they just used clips of the fucking movie and just used that in between the levels. I was like, man, that is like hella lazy. Because you remember that?
No,
you guys don't know that? Oh, you guys don't know the cutscenes from the one on the PS4 because they kind of rebooted the franchise a little bit. It literally, the cutscenes were just snips from the movie, like the movie that came out.
Oh, that's so bad.
And that's actually, but
terrible.
I mean, it was a really good remake. But I'm an idiot. I know I missed that.
Yeah, no, it's wild because I didn't even know that when it happened. But my buddy was like, yeah, there was like clips from the movie because I was looking at it. And I'm like, wait. Why does it always keep telling me I can't record in the middle of like the cutscenes? And I'm like, oh, because the cutscenes would have gotten channels taken down.
Oh, that's so bad.
I didn't realize that. I always would say, and it would keep saying that this is not allowed to whatever, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then now I figured it out. Only 3 years later.
Because Sony would be like, yeah, stream our game. Oh shit, everyone got taken down by our other corporate fucking company.
Dude, that happens with Warzone all the time. They have copyrighted music in there, and I always see like a news article like, oh, a streamer got struck down by fucking Activision or because it has copyrighted music even though they wanted you to stream the game.
Oh man, Activision right now, dude, they are in the fucking toilet.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to come out of it. I want to see Bobby Kotick taken to like some... I want him to like at least be accountable for some shit, but I don't know. Nothing's probably going to happen out of it, as pessimistic as that sounds. Activision has a really good way of like fucking throwing shit under the rug. You
know what, though? Even if nothing happens, it at least... Because I'm very tired of hearing that everything is SJW. I'm like, no, there's real shit that goes on in corporate America that, yeah, that shit, like, what they're talking about, I've seen some of it happen with my own eyes. You know what I mean? Like, it's real, and it's a problem. And there is that tribalism where it's like a frat group, and no one wants to fuck with the other person, so they kind of keep it secret because they're in that pact. Like, it's real shit, man. It's not a joke. It happens, and at least, if nothing else, if there's no kind of criminal or whatever prosecution, people will start paying attention more that this shit is real. And it's not always someone... What's up?
So, hold on. I'm going to have to do a bit more research. And I am completely out of the loop when it comes to anything gaming news related in the now. I don't even know what this Activision thing is.
I'll let Muda give you the cliff notes. No, give him the cliff notes, man.
So basically, Activision is getting sued by the state of California's like work department, like whatever their department is for like labor and shit. And apparently, they've been doing this investigation for years, where like it turns out that like Activision, like Blizzard specifically, the Blizzard division, they've been like running this frat house community for years. Like I'll explain one thing. Some of their women complained about like cube crawls, where like Activision employees would like go underneath like cube, like they would just sexually harass like women in the workplace.
Get drunk and grope them.
Yeah, and there was one where like some girl was being harassed by I think a superior or something, someone she was dating. It's a bit of a hazy situation, but like I don't know. There's so much harassment, sexual harassment going on that it's just. And no one agrees with it. Like, the reality is, it's one of those interesting pieces of news where it's like, you know, Rich says SJW, but I think I spoke to everyone, and like everyone that I talked to was like, yeah, this shit's fucking disgusting. I don't know whether that's from the...
this one I'm saying everyone's on the same boat with. Everyone's like, yeah, this is real. This is the real deal.
I also feel like a lot of it is because like they were just so fucking happy that Activision was getting shit and thrown under the bus. Like,
yeah, probably too. Probably. I mean, but look, someone literally fucking committed suicide because her nudes got leaked. It's like, no, even people I know who are very like get woke, go broke were like, yeah, no, this one's pretty bad. Like, yeah, we're not out. There's no.
I mean. It's bad. No, it's terrible. Like somebody mentioned the Cosby suite in the text. I'm like, actually, there is something about the Cosby suite. I think it was before Cosby got like his whole legal thing. It's still fucking weird to have a Cosby suit. I'm just saying, it's still fucking weird to have a shrine to Bill Cosby. Even before
the Cosby thing wasn't as big of a deal, but I heard there was stuff going on at the time that was public, so it's just kind of weird because it was because of the ugly sweater. I'm like, dude, you're sitting on a bed with a white wall. What are you talking about? Why didn't you just call it the ugly fucking sweater room? Why would you call it the Cosby room? Even back then, it just doesn't make sense. You know,
dude, why? Like, this is exactly why their games are in the fucking shitter, dude. This is why Warzone has no fucking anti-cheat. Warzone has goddamn. This is why all their games are shit. Their developers are too busy fucking around doing nothing. Their developers are too busy fucking around abusing women in the workplace.
They're trying to grab titties.
Right.
They're trying to grab titties, and
Yeah.
I can't play a game of team deathmatch without getting shot through a fucking wall.
It's so insane, man. That they dude. Not only that, but it's like, man, can we get like a compression team to start working on the fucking game itself? Like, at some point when your game is like 250 gigabytes big on any device, you probably should get a team inside there and start taking out redundant textures and all this bullshit. It is the insane fucking. It's an insane game. It's that. Here's another thing that I wonder too. I thought that the game was super huge because there were so many times on streams where I was just theorizing because that's all you can do with game development, right? I'm like, man, maybe this game is like 250 gigs because you know how they didn't want to like decompress because they're probably maxed out on the CPU, so they're just like sending you decompressed assets. And I was like, man, that's not even fucking true. Their next-gen versions are just as bloated and big. It's just a shitty job by this company whatsoever. They don't fucking care.
Their game, I think, and I think it's almost like, well, if they have to fill up their storage with our game, because
Yeah.
it's like
Right.
every
Right.
game, it's just, why is this so fucking huge? There's other epic AAA games out there. Why is Call of Duty taking up 600 fucking gigs? I think I'm exaggerating, but not by that much. Isn't it like pushing
It's
up to 300?
not even that big. It's not even. It's literally like the game doesn't look that good in my opinion, anyways, for it to be 200 gigs.
Especially Black Ops Cold War. It actually looks a step back from Modern Warfare, in my opinion.
Oh my god, yeah. Fuck Cold War, dude. I remember playing that shit like the night it came out because me and Charlie were playing it like Moist Critical and like the group. I think there was not a moment that night we were playing it where we were like, this is a good game. You know, we had a good match. You know, like the entire night we're like, this is a fucking turd fest. Fuck this.
You know what killed me? They got rid of this double run. I don't know, the Slushii, if you
Oh, the
played.
tactical sprint? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
There was double run?
Yes.
Yeah, because in Modern Warfare, you like stuck your gun up in the air and started running like at 10 times the speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got rid of that?
That made
They
me
got rid
so
of it.
sad. Yeah, it just felt like I'm like going, like I feel like I'm going back to like 2017 with Cold War. Like it just, they were too busy putting cameras under the
They were too busy
in the bathroom stall. They literally, that happened too,
Oh
Slushii.
my god.
They had a guy
What? Really?
who he put cameras, like he picked out the proper waterproof camera. He made sure to get the proper batteries to get the longest battery
my
life.
God.
And he put him under the sink so he could look at people's crotches walking in and out. That is why they have big textures in Call
Wow.
of Duty.
Maybe they're just maybe he's hiding terabytes of footage within the game files. That's why it's just, you know.
Yeah, it's like a secret op to spread like fucking illegal pornography throughout their game. They just have it like it's just behind
Hide the
the
evidence.
scenes.
Hide the
You
evidence
know?
in the game files.
It's a secret op. That's all it is. No, dude, fuck Activision. I hope they actually go. I honestly like. I was excited to buy like Diablo 2, but at this point, I'm like, man, I'm excited to just pirate the fuck out of that whenever it's available. I don't give a fuck anymore.
Hell yeah,
I
brother.
don't care.
It's just, you know, in the beginning, my take on that was I was kind of like, but fuck, man, you're gonna screw over innocent people that work there. But it just, the more you hear, it's like, yeah, I can't support that anymore.
It's not like they pay the developers a commission, man. They just give them their money and Bobby takes the rest of it.
Yeah,
and gives
even
it to the
that-
shareholders.
That is a pretty that is pretty goddamn true. And even when they make a profit for the quarter, they still fire people because they're like, yeah, we could be even more profitable. So
Oh,
either
you made
way,
Modern Warfare 2, our biggest selling game. Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
yeah, literally that happened. They were like, their profits went up for a year, and they let go of more people. So all right, good point. Yeah, fuck Activision.
Not the CEO though. That dude goes in front of stockholder like shareholders, and it's like $45 million compensation package. App granted, you're good.
You know how much Bobby? You guys know how much Bobby Kotick is worth?
I think it's like, well, he's on like not just Activision. He's on the Coca-Cola board too for some reason.
Wow.
So he's multiple billions. I think, maybe?
Six. I was 600 net worth approximately, and yes, I know net worth isn't liquid assets. That means like things he owns, and is 600 million.
Wow.
What? That seems fucking low considering how much he brings.
Oh,
value
I actually
to
thought
a
that.
company.
I actually thought that seemed high. I thought it was going to see like 40 million or 50 million.
I thought with the amount of money he was bringing into Activision, he would have at least been over the billionaire club. Because that's how they pay these people compensations, right? It's like every time a CEO, like I know it pisses people off, but I'm like, when a CEO makes like 100 million a month or a year, it's probably because they brought like a comparative amount of value to the company too. You know what I mean? If you're making a company billions of dollars, they're gonna pay you. If I was a fucking CEO and I made Activision 20 billion, I'd be like, motherfucker, you're paying me accordingly. I don't give a fuck. I left the company.
They get a lot of shares, I think. Shares is usually where they make the money, and yeah, they get compensation packages. The best is I'll always be blown away by this, and how this gets written into a contract is fucking amazing, is golden parachutes. They're letting you go, you blew it, you fucked up, and you just, all right, give me, like, I always bring up the CEO of Sega or president of Sega of America.
Bring up Don Matrick, dude. He gets paid $1 billion and he gets a CEO job at Zynga. Then he also fucks that up too.
Did he get golden umbrellas?
Yeah, Don Matrick. Let me look it up because when they got removed his ass from fucking Xbox. Let me see, Don Matrick, Zynga. You can just see it from here, Zynga, because that's like the mobile giant or whatever. Oh, he's already done there. Holy fuck. Yeah, 2013 he was appointed as CEO over there. Just as soon as he left Microsoft, he already left that company too. So he fucked that way. He fucked up 2 companies, I guess.
Well, that's what they got. Like Sega of Japan was pissed off at the Sega of America president Bernie Stoller. This is back in the Dreamcast days, and this is back in 1999 money. They fired him, and they had to pay him $5 million to fire him.
What?
And that's
because they have the severance packages, and they're fucking insane for them.
I want to get fired from a job. And look, I get, okay, they do a lot of work. It doesn't matter, though, man. You got fired, and you're already multimillionaire anyway, so you need $5 million to kick you out the door? I will get kicked in the ass out the door of any place for $5 million. You could shove a pickle up my ass and shove me out.
I'm telling you, man, that corporate America, that corporate world, when you're in that high executive position,
You're in the
already
club.
You're set. You're set for life. It doesn't fucking matter if you get fired or you fuck up. Like in some ways, how can you fuck up a gaming company too, right? Like, I mean, something like Activision where like you just have to shit out a copy of COD every year. It doesn't even have to be good. The community just buys it regardless. For 5 years, the Call of Duty community, you go on YouTube and it's like, Call of Duty is dead. This new COD sucks ass. Yeah, suddenly it's still breaking shareholder expectations, so clearly it doesn't. You're buying it, the fans are buying it, who cares?
Dude, it's one step away from, like, reskinning Madden.
Oh my god, no. Yeah, you're not even kidding, dude. Like this, not even reskinning, Rich. It's like even Warzone, which is like their biggest cash cow, they don't even have to change it at all year to year. It's just like one shitty update every season, and that's it.
And they fucked that up because they had to, some guy had to have a boner by putting cameras in a bathroom. Just think about that. Like, Activision was almost unfuck-upable, and they still fucked it up.
You had COD, you had World of Warcraft. I mean, World of Warcraft, even if it's losing subscribers, you know how much fucking money WoW makes? WoW makes more money than COD to this day, dude. It doesn't. I think it makes more money than COD if you value its subscription fees and all that bullshit. Like, there is no way.
Do either of you play World of Warcraft?
I used to play WoW for a while.
I played it.
It was
I played it once in 2009, and I think I still have PTSD from it and haven't played it since.
WoW takes a commitment, man. WoW has a commitment to it. Like, every time I'm playing that game, when I used to think about it, I'm like, how do people have time in today's day and age to fucking sit down and play an MMO, you know? Like, I'm watching it on Twitch and everything, and it's like, oh, it works for them, it's their fucking job, but how does the average person play a fucking MMO like that and get away? It's just, I don't have that time anymore. I can't play WoW.
Isn't that depressing? As I mean, I know I'm the oldest fuck here, but like, the older you get, the less time. Like, there's so many games I see come out now, and it's depressing because I'm like, wow, I will never have the time to complete that fucking game, and I know it. Like, you know.
No, dude, but it's also a thing where like games now are just unnecessarily bloated too. That's why we also think like
Yes.
I was playing through Assassin's Creed 2, man. I probably am through halfway of that game in just 2 nights of playing through it, and I'm like, it's fine. This is paced great. I look at the new Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and I'm like, man, 70 hours to just finish the main. Nope, fuck that. I'm not playing this game. Get out of here.
I think what it is that because the game people complain about the price of the games, the developers feel pressure just to put fluff in there. I don't
But
fucking.
it's so much fluff, yeah. Like, you know how we used to joke on Ubisoft, like, hey, these are the guys that have checklist like open worlds. Okay, even back then they were all checklist as fuck. You know, like I
Yes.
played through Assassin's Creed 2 again. The amount of shit, like they've got a fuck ton of icons, and then we all bought it. And then Assassin's Creed Unity came out. Dude, you know when you zoom out the map on that game, the frame rate just dies. Like on any system you're on, because it's loading in so many fucking blips.
Hey,
But
we're-
now
Yeah.
on Valhalla, they don't even hide the blips. They're just like, hey guys, here's the yellow blip for money, here's blue blip for a shitty quest, and here's the white blip because we know you enjoy just collecting random shitty items. That's all it is now. They don't even care.
And people think that like that's not value. If you're bored, games are supposed to be fun. If you have the time to kill, you want to be entertained. Like, so if I'm not entertained, it's still not value. Just because if I make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and put a turd on it and add an extra layer, it's like, all right, it's a bigger sandwich, but do you really want to deal with the shit? That's. You want to
Like, I play single player games mostly nowadays. Like, my
Slushii
gaming.
all right, it's confirmed. Slushii wants to eat a sandwich of my shit. Please continue.
Oh my.
Let's go.
It's like, dude, when it comes to gaming these days, like I used to play a shit ton of Rainbow Six. I used to play a lot of like multiplayer games, and I just stopped that because I don't have enough time in the day to like contribute to like that multiplayer grindfest anymore. Even though I like it, most of my gaming now is like I just play single player stuff. But I've noticed most of my single player shit is like PS3 360 era. Like I just played Mass Effect Legendary Edition, dude. That game is old as fuck, but it is like light years better paced than anything nowadays. Like every hour you put into that game is actually meaningful, you know? Like if I put in like an hour of a new Assassin's Creed game, or even like the Spider-Man game, and I'm deviating doing side quests, it's like the most meanderingly boring side quest activity you found. At least in like older like PS3 360 games. Like yeah, an Assassin's Creed game was like a fucking quarter of what you get now, I guess, content-wise, but at least it was meaningful, fun content versus, shit now.
I used to play. Holy shit! I just had a total fucking brain fart here because I had too many of the edibles. But yeah,
sauce.
dude, I took way too many and it's just hitting me now. But yeah, I am just sick though of when I'm going out and I feel like they're trying to find ways to justify the price of the games. And when I always think back to games like that's why I always like playing the older games. This is what I was going to say, like Fear, for example.
Oh, the AI on that game,
is
Rich,
insane.
so good.
Now I heard what the secret sauce to that is that they made the levels so the limited AI could seem more clever than it was, but it still worked. Who cared?
Well, it's everything. There's so much developer trickery that goes on. Like what the fuck.
But the thing is, you play those games and they're fun. And now, like I play Call of Duty, I don't even play the single player. I just play like team deathmatch because the AI is fucking stupid. It's just like, come shoot me, please. Like, why do I have to go back to a game when George W. Bush was still in office to get more advanced AI and more satisfying gunplay than games that come out now that cost $70? Anyway, all right, I'm done.
Dude, it feels
It's all George Bush's fault.
When you're
Yes.
talking about the bots and shit
Yes,
and like
it's
video
George Bush.
games, it's like we almost took a step down because I think about it like this, right? Like when bots comes out, when we have like Unreal Tournament bots, right? Like UT 2004, that era, like Counter-Strike. I mean, I don't know if Counter-Strike had official well, it did have official bots, but we all knew the trick back then, right? They basically had like an invisible string of items the bots would follow, and sometimes they'd be deviating, and you figure it out, but it works, right? Like whatever. Look at something like GTA 5. The police system in GTA 5 that Cyberpunk magically doesn't have. Have you ever noticed how cops in GTA 5 operate? Like, you hide somewhere, they get out, they do a full search of an area, like a full perimeter sweep, and they get out. Like, it's actually really good. And then you go into like games nowadays. When Forza first shipped out, like Horizon and Motorsport, there was like an interesting aspect of the cloud gaming Microsoft had, because they would basically use all of our data and like make better driving bots. And ever since then, it's like we're just slipping back down. Like it's like we had this peak where like, okay, people want to actually like invest in bots, and now it's like the game doesn't have bots, and if it does, they're like Call of Duty bots where they play like absolute fucking shitlords, you know? Like the Black Ops Cold War bots are actually worse, from what I understand, than like the PS3 360 era of like COD bots, you know, like Black Ops 2, Ghost, whatever the fuck.
Well, what I'm hoping now is with the Zen 2 cores that are inside both or all three of the next-gen systems, and I'm going to just the PS5 and digital are one system. That was the one thing they said about the 8th-gen consoles, is that because the Jaguar cores in them were such shit, they couldn't improve AI. It was basically just the 7th gen with a prettier coat of paint.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with the better processors from AMD that are inside of both of the consoles, they're saying that now we'll see better AI, but I feel like we still took a step back. Like the PS4 and Xbox One should have been more capable than a 2005 gaming PC to play a better game than Fear. So I feel
PS4, Xbox One, man. Like this is the thing. Yeah, the GPUs are good, right? Like if you still look at the GPU on an PS4 Pro, Xbox Series X, or not Series X, Xbox One X, they're pretty good.
Yeah,
they're pretty fine. But like the CPUs. The only reason those open world games are sitting at 25 frames per second, barely touching 30, dude. That's the only reason.
They
like,
can't
it's just
do
nothing.
Yeah, they can't do the draw calls because it was a mobile chip from like 2008 that they used for the I don't know when the hell the jack. They're old, crappy.
It's like an Athlon 64, like an older Athlon 64.
It was meant for like tablets. Literally, I believe that was supposed to be a mobile chip, and they were like, "Oh, we'll just throw in more cores. It'll be fine."
More cores, and then like turn down the TDP a little bit because you don't want fucking PlayStations melting on you. You know, running anything.
Remember they used to sound like both the PS4 Pro and the PS4. They both sounded like jet engines.
Oh man, dude! I did the test. When I got Cyberpunk. Oh man, that was the best time of my life because I ended up getting the game a little earlier because I invested in like a game store over here, and like the best part about it is I get the distribution copy. So a couple days earlier, I picked this game up. I'm like, man, I can't wait to try it out on the PlayStation. Whew, man, I did try it on the base PlayStation. No patches.
No.
Oh, that was I had to do it. I had to see it. You know what I mean? Because when I heard it went gold, I was like, that means they solved all the problems, you know? That means there's no frame rate. There shouldn't be, right? I want to see what the original code was that fucking CD Projekt Red was like, this is good enough. We're shipping it out. So I cracked this case open. I'm like, 2 discs. I'm like, we're in for a meaty install. Slapping that original PlayStation 4, right? It's all updated. I stick that shit in. I install it. I fire it up, dude. 10 frames. Like this thing crashes as it like loads in. Like fucking dead. And then I tell people about it. I'm like, guys, because I uploaded a video before its release on my Twitter. I was like, man, this game crashed in the tutorial. Like it just stopped working. It can't load any further. I had to remove it because I was like, man, I don't want to get fucking struck by CD Projekt Red. But when I saw that, I was like, this is not good. This is a bad experience.
Well, I mean, yeah, those systems were awful at running open world games, or let's say that the reason that open world games didn't get that much more expansive from the 7th gen is because of the. I mean, I think they literally said that the cell processor in the PS3 actually, the CPU cores, whereas the CPU was more capable than what was inside the PS4. So in some ways, they took a step back.
Yeah, I think it's like if you got the cell right, you were actually getting better performance than like the next generation. But you know, actually, in a lot of ways too, like there are games from that PS3 era, man, like Metal Gear Solid 4, that just fucking destroy even games this generation. Like whatever Kojima's team did with Metal Gear Solid 4, which is why it's also one of the most hardest games to emulate on the PS3. That game, man, I'm telling you, that era, that generation of developers fucking killed it. Uncharted 3, dude, you could still load that shit up and be blown away, even on a TV now.
Even Uncharted 2. Uncharted 2 was mind-blowing, its visuals, even back then. What's up, Camelot?
Oh, Lord.
So, now this makes me moist. We everyone here is moist. Your guys' thoughts on Chris Chan and COVID vaccines? Well, we talked about COVID.
No, let's talk about Chris Chan.
Let's talk about
man.
Chris Chan.
Let's do. Did you make a video on it? I didn't see. You made a video.
No,
on
I
Chris
didn't
Chan?
make a video.
Oh,
Who's Chris
dude.
Chan?
Oh,
You don't know who Chris Chan is? Oh.
I wish it's like
How
that
do we
one
even
meme
begin?
now where like it's not Slushii. It's like that one meme now where it's like the kid asks about the good old days, and I feel like the dad who's pouring out the shots of tequila. I'm like, all right, son, let's talk about it.
It's like
All right,
it's like
so-
seeing Empire Strikes Back for the first time.
No. This is like, okay, so who's the most documented individual in history? Like, if you just take a guess, who do you think is the most documented person?
I don't know.
Listen, Bin Laden, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right, fucking George Washington. Every major figure does not have a Wikipedia page, Wikipedia site this big. Chris Chan, so like, Chris Chan has been cataloged since they were a child. You know what I mean? Like they have been through so much. They have basically uploaded everything on the internet. Right now, for full clarity, this person has autism, like actual autism. It's not even debatable. Like the amount of life story that they've published to the internet. Okay, they have been trolled. They have been like basically cataloged. They've been archived, and so eventually it was kind of like a goofy story. Basically, the trolls were terrible. Like at the end of the day, Chris Chan made this thing called Sonichu, this comic book, this like recolor of Sonic the Hedgehog, and that was pretty much it, right? Like whatever, you made some fucking character on the internet, called it a day. In the last 3 weeks, it turns out Chris Chan was having sex with their mom.
Oh.
That's kind of sussy.
That's kind of sussy. Oh man,
That's
you
kinda
Also,
so
hold on. She also has dementia.
yeah.
Oh, that's very sussy.
Yeah. Every time, like Chris Chan's mom jumps into like a video, like she looks like this. There was one video where like so like Chris Chan uses like her mom to e-bag basically, like just giving donations to pay for the mortgage and shit. There were like moments in the video where like his mom gets on, like Chris Chan's mom or whatever. She's staring at the camera like this, and he asks like go. He like directs go, like it's some
I
fucking
never saw
terror
that.
tape. No, it's fucking scary. Like she's sitting on her bed, she's like fucking dead eyed. You know what I mean? Like she just took the best crack that you could ever find. She's staring at the camera, and like 5 seconds into the video, Chris Chan's like go. And she's like, "Okay, everyone, donate to our Patreon. Buy the stuff on eBay." And then like so when like Chris Chan's mom fucks up something, all of a sudden Chris Chan's like, "You're supposed to mention the other things. Mention the eBay. Buy the high ticketed items." And then her mom like snaps. It's scary, dude. It's fucking.
Looking at Chris Chan, I'm seeing a little bit of a Gabe Newell.
Gabe Newell.
Not hope that's not fucked up. I see like Gabe Newell a little bit in there.
Gabe Newell's like the Chris Chan in the Very Good
I
Time
can kind
line.
of see what he's talking about if before she transitioned. 'Cause, yeah, if you think back to his like the Sonichu boyfriend Free Girls, yeah, if he grew a little bit of a beard, I could see some Gabe Newell. That was, dude, she's so documented that when she was a he back in the day, like he was uploading videos with his PS3 with the webcam, like everything that she did to the hoarding house to like was uploaded. So she also uploaded when she was humping a blow up doll. And yeah, there's other classics that I can't think of right now.
No,
Damn, so this
dude,
is like
a lot
this
of
is
it
like
is
the
just-
real world of the
But-
internet, basically.
So here's the wildest thing. So there was this call that got leaked, right? Where Chris Chan's just out there talking about, yeah, this is how I fucked my mom. You know, like they were like,
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest with you. This is an actual quote, by the way, where Chris Chan's like, I hit her G spot better than my dad. I'm kind of paraphrasing that, but that's kind of what it is.
I stopped reading because I
that's-
started to throw up. I stopped reading at that
no.
point.
Listen. This is a real thing. So this was admitted on a call. All right. And I made a video, and I think I spent like 5 minutes in my video like going through AI software to determine if this was actually a faked call. It was not a fake call. The best AI software in the world isn't fucking making this call. Turns out the other person involved on that,
Oh yes, you were going to say what I said. Continue.
the other person involved on this call has the most fucked up troll history. So there apparently this like one girl from like Texas who wanted to be quote unquote the best troll ever, and this person actually like bullied like another trans individual to the point of like them dying and shit.
Suicide.
Yeah. Like this person's like parents are apparently part of like ex Secret Service, ex Navy SEALs, like some insane fucking family background. Like this whole life history. They were actually trolling Chris Chan to the point where like the end game was getting Chris Chan to kill himself. Like,
whoa.
and again, I'm not saying this to like defend Chris Chan. Chris Chan's a fucking terrible person. Like, you know, you fuck your
That's
dementia-ridden
crazy.
mom. That's bad. But this person, oh fuck, the amount of trolling that got in. This was like, I can't fathom to understand what happened to this person because like they have various investigations on them. You know what I mean? Like there was one case where their university was doing like I think it's a Title VI investigation on them because of like some fucked up shit that they were doing. Like, well,
She
definitely
boiled a hamster alive.
Yes.
Yeah, she boiled a hamster alive.
What?
There's photos of that too.
That's
But
crazy.
like her entire like backstory, and it's so weird because it's like she was being investigated. So you would think that like with the collective power of the internet, like 4chan's on you, you know, Kiwi Farms, all these places, they're gonna find you out eventually. You know, like if you troll somebody and you have even like a shred of online like footprint going on, they're gonna find you. It is what it is.
Wow.
Like they found her, I guess, and that's it. She tortured a dog, dude. It's fucking screwed. The moment she gets busted is the moment some fucking Netflix executive is gonna jump out and be like, all right, I found something even wilder than Tiger King. We're gonna fucking make this story, boys. It's fucking...
Damn.
Yeah, it's like
That's insane.
It's like something out of a. If you gave me the script, I would laugh at you and say, "This isn't real. This is terrible. This is way too over the top, and it can't be an actual thing." Who would ever believe this?
Rich, imagine just for a second, you're like an FBI agent, right? And you get assigned the Chris Chan case, and your fucking superior officer's like, all right, Rich, I want you to get down to the bottom of the story. And you're like just an hour into your investigation. I think you're going to be filing your resignation. I don't think you're going to be wanting to work at the FBI.
Like, imagine.
Speed running, quitting the FBI.
Yeah.
And here's the other weird thing. Wasn't it she had like a cult at her university, this Bella?
I think it wasn't so much a cult. I think it was just like a group of trolls, like all operating within the order. Like,
But their thing was, let's see how long we could go without showering to get our classmates grossed
yeah,
out.
dude.
No.
Oh my god, dude. When I heard about fungal infections,
That's
I didn't
kinda
know.
sick.
I didn't
That's
know
kinda
your body
sick.
could get that fucked up. I didn't know that.
Wait,
you know?
wait. Okay, so what is this? I feel like I've missed out on like 8 seasons of like internet Game of Thrones.
You think you
You know.
missed out, dude? When this all happened, I felt like I missed out on an entire lifetime worth of information. I've been following this shit for a while. You know, like you're on the internet for a second, you know about this. When all, 'cause you gotta understand, this whole script flipped on everyone. You know, up until this point, we thought this was a bumbling like dipshit who drew like Sonic the Hedgehog recolored. 3 weeks, all changed.
There's an OG YouTuber who I'm actually friends with on Facebook, and he was like, we all knew it was going to end bad. Like,
Wait, was it Blackbuster Critic?
yes, Blackbuster Critic. We knew it was going to end bad, but we thought like, all right, there's going to be someone around her who, like a woman who's drunk, and she's going to try to make moves and shit like that. That's what we thought. Not like. If you told me like someone went from like, oh, I could see the future and Chris Chan is gonna fuck their mom, and I would have been like, get the fuck out of here.
Dude, if I myself went back in time 10 years and like shook me, I was like, don't follow this person. They're going to fuck their own mom. And there's fungal infections and boiled hamsters. I'd be like, get the fuck out of here. You're lying to me. What's going on with you?
It sounds like a bad script a kid would make up. It sounds like a bad script like a kid would make up if they're trying really hard to be scary, but it's actually real.
Yeah.
And what's even crazier, if you look at Bella for her initial picture, she's a good looking girl. It's like, so that's almost like it just proves that trolls can be fucking anybody. And
They come in all shapes and sizes.
Dude, my neighbor could be doing this shit to somebody else on the internet and I wouldn't know. We're sitting here talking and that person's
Right
having
now.
cyber sex with another person on the internet and fucking with them. It's scary.
Bro.
I believe there was a cop who there was a book made about them where the cop, like, he was a cop during the day, but he was like a fucking deviant sexual troll at night. You don't know, man.
That's believable to an extent, because you got to imagine, right? Like, if you're a fucking sexual deviant and you're a cop, you're never gonna get caught because you know exactly how the procedure works. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So,
That's crazy.
So Activision Blizzard just lost Coke, Allstate, Astro Gaming, and U.S. Army as sponsors. They're sinking. Well, no, dude. And the funniest thing is, like, he just said Bobby Kotick is on the board of Coca-Cola too. So that must be an awkward board meeting.
Hey Bobby, that other company you're at, yeah, we're not going to be working with them anymore. Fuck that.
That must, you know,
Fuck
everyone's in that board meeting with a puckered butthole.
Well, I wonder how many puckered buttholes are getting fisted with Coke bottles. You know, I mean, hey, who knows if there's some leeway in trend? You know,
he was in Epstein's book.
Yeah, the fucking Black Book. Ooh.
Yeah, buddy.
It's like you like all the pieces. It's just, I wonder if him and Bill Clinton were getting massages together. Did you see Mike Lindell's? That's a true thing, Slushii. You could look it up. He was going on Epstein's plane. There's a picture of Bill Clinton getting a massage from like a 20-something-year-old girl.
It's the same with Bill Gates. He was on there so many times, and then his divorce happened because of his connection to the whole. Yeah, Billy Gates,
creator of the HoloLens, Billy Gates.
Billy Gates.
Dude, Bill Gates is a.
I see. I'm like just
man.
I'm so far out of the loop, man.
Bill Gates is a horny man who drinks shit water, literally. But yes, he used to, and the reason why he didn't get in trouble, one, because he's Bill Gates and he has more money than God, and two, he never was overly forceful. But while he was with Melinda, she'd be like, hey, Melinda, he would like send an email to someone he thought was good looking. He'd be like, hey, Melinda's out of town. I was wondering if you wanted to come and sit on my face, but no pressure though. So when they said
that's
like
so
that.
stupid too, because you think with the amount of money Bill Gates has, that dude could buy a hooker every picosecond of the day, top class, and still be in the green. What the fuck, man?
Yeah, like why do you have to go for employees? That's a very good point.
That dude could buy an entire country of hookers, bro. It doesn't matter. Bill Gates goes to the red light district and purchases the actual property and the souls living in it. Like, come on now.
I just put it's almost like with Jared Fogle. I mean, he didn't do with Jared Fogle. Hopefully he didn't do with Jared Fogle. Yeah, he was with Epstein, so Lord knows. But let's not.
Jared Fogle.
But yeah, I would just you don't remember, you don't know what happened with Jared Fogle?
Oh no, yeah. No,
I was gonna say. But, like, I just never, not only did I never see them as, like horn dogs, I just never, like they...
I don't know, man. When Jared Fogle got exposed, he had that face, dude. That face says it all.
I didn't even think he had a penis.
Dude,
I thought he was built like, I thought he was hung like a Ken doll. Like,
Hey, man, when you're that big like Jared Fogle and you can finally see your penis again, you're probably gonna go a little wild.
Dude... Like, I just thought they were asexual. Like, Bill Gates, like, he does not look like a person who would ever get a boner. And then the next thing, it's just like, oh, yeah, he's a real horn dog who tried to hook up anytime Melinda was out of town. It's like, yes, I know, like, obviously everyone has a penis, but he's Bill Gates. He's not supposed to have a penis in my weird...
Yeah, I thought he didn't have sex, to be honest. I thought he wasn't just like... I thought he didn't reproduce.
Yeah.
I thought his mortal form, like... He was just too smart, like, you know?
Like, just picture, like, Bill Gates, like, oh, get naughty and slap my ass. Like, it's just like, oh, God.
It's like, if I heard a story of Bill Gates doing a line of coke, I'd be like, no, not Billy Gates. Billy wouldn't do a line of coke. What's going on here?
Now, Steve Ballmer,
that's such a funny image.
Oh, Steve
Steve Ballmer is a sex machine. Like, just like, remember when he came out on stage?
He's screaming developers. I'm like, this dude is on 100% Colombian right now. There is no way you're telling me Stevie Ballmer isn't fucking blown away.
And
the fucking dream team.
I think he came out on stage like that too. So his pits were already sweating. He had all the sweat dripping down here. He was in the back room and he was just like,
I gotta do a fucking keynote today for Microsoft. Better go out on stuff. He was going at it, dude. I'm surprised no one from Apple has done that yet too during a keynote. You know, one of their developers jumped out. You have to imagine when you're designing Apple chipsets, there's gonna be some fucking developer that's so just they need that release, man. They need to jump out. They need to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just that whole situation with Steve Ballmer just coming out on stage, but
I'm surprised he didn't bring his hooker with him on stage there too.
He was
dude.
he was the one that you would think like, all right, yeah, Steve Ballmer, he's probably like he's probably humping somebody staying developers, but it's Bill Gates. I'm like, no, he's a
surprisingly he was pretty clean.
Not
like,
our sweet boy, not our sweet boy Billy.
I bet Steve Ballmer is such a clean guy. Like I haven't seen anything problematic come out of him. I bet when Gates did something, he must have been like, I can't believe one of my former friends was. He probably had like he probably had remorse more than
Yeah,
Gates
like
did,
secondhand guilt.
Yeah, fucking. I don't know, man.
Did
Bill
you know
Gates
that,
to me. Go ahead.
Bill Gates has a trampoline room in his house. He has a room.
Dude,
in his
that's
house.
kinky.
It's all trampolines. Oh yeah, for sure.
Dude, that dude's got like a smart tree. He's so rich to a point where he's like, man, I have this one tree in my house. Let me wire up electronics to it so I can see the health in real time. Like, this is how fucking rich you have to be. You know, he doesn't care. Like, for Bill Gates, it doesn't. Nothing. At the end of the day, when this dude wants something, he'll get it. That's just Billy's lifestyle.
Imagine.
Yeah, apparently in all facets too.
Imagine having. Like, what do you even do when you have that much money? You must go insane because you have no limitations.
I mean, you've got an unlimited amount of crack. You can buy all the coke straight from the cartel. You don't have to go to the dealer. You buy the cartel of itself. You buy everyone in the red light district. You buy all your you just have fun. You do whatever you want. Doesn't matter.
What do you do when you're Jeff Bezos? Like, yes, okay.
You go to space. That's what you do.
In a giant penis rocket. I know when you went in a giant penis rocket, but like, all right, after you're done with the penis rocket, it just like, I'm not saying I would complain if I was in Jeff Bezos' position, but it must be weird because nothing stops you. Even unfortunately, because our system is corrupt, the law. Like, what do you do?
I don't know. I mean, do you think he just goes to like? Do you think he's like? You think he just goes to a Lamborghini dealership and he's like, "Look, honey, this is how the poor people spend their money. Like, look at them."
Yeah, he's just probably buying like 2.3 million Swedish. He's like they go over to like with the Saudi royalty and they're buying like those $2.3 million Swedish fucking cars that they make like two of.
But he makes more than the Saudi royalty himself. Like, he probably looks at them and it's like, look at them. Look at how these poor people live in these Burj Khalifas, dude, with their golden Lamborghinis. What the fuck?
And you know what's scary is he bought a mansion near Washington, D.C. Like,
yeah, like some $73 million mansion. Like,
yeah.
Fucking,
like
I think it's Bezos.
Wow.
And you know that our politicians in the States are just spreading their cheeks and going, please just give me campaign money and I'll do whatever the fuck you want.
That's so
Those
insane.
Amazon
Like, a
drones.
politician will literally suck your cock for $5 million. And Jeff Bezos is like, $5 million? What the fuck? That's like candy bar money for me, dude. That's like, it doesn't matter. Like, shit. But that's the weirdest side of like the U.S. politics is like, you guys have like this unlimited amount of money you can spend on a politician. It's like, if you really just want to break the law and like pass something new, just give your favorite politician a fucking couple million. It's like chump change for a billionaire, you know?
And the thing is that, you can only donate to their campaign. You can't donate to them. But what happens in the States is that they'll write these laws that benefit the corporations that donate to them, and conveniently afterwards they get a job making 7 or 8 fucking figures where it's like, hey, yeah, just give a 1-hour speech once a year and we'll pay you $20 million a year. Yep. Gee, I wonder if you're just paying them off in a different way.
You know what? I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. By the time I come back, it's actual historical record. Jeff Bezos will have made $15 million. Not even joking.
Yeah, think about that. He's going to go take a dump, and Jeff Bezos is going to make $50 million.
Man.
So I'll get through some more. This is such content coming from just a man on the internet that is all I fucking am. I want to say something, too. I talk about Howard Stern not because I am an egomaniac and think I am a billionth near his level. I know I'm not. What I'm saying is that he's inspired my content, and roasting people has always been part of what he does. So I just want to make that clear, that I'm not saying I am on Howard Stern's level. That would be insane to even insinuate that. And I'm not. I'm just a
Confirmed.
bit.
Rich from Review Tech USA claims he is 1,000 times better than Howard Stern.
God damn it, Slushii. And plus, I'm slender with long flowing hair, so I also look like him as well. I often get out of the shower and go, "Wow, you look just like Howard Stern, Rich."
Oh yeah, dude.
I mean, obviously, I'm better looking. So EA, we will not let somebody take our terrible reputation of employee abuse and poor ethics. Blizzard, dude, yeah, Blizzard just went. It was literally a frat house there, except 10 times worse. Someone actually, and what was funny was I saw some people defending partially, people I won't name were indirectly defending, well, how did her pictures get leaked? Doesn't matter how they got leaked. She could have, say she had like a consensual relationship with like five guys there, and she sent them lewd pictures. She's just sending them to that person. It doesn't matter how they got them. It wasn't their, they couldn't take it upon themselves. They should not have taken it upon themselves. Say, hey, here's so-and-so's naked pictures. That doesn't justify it. Yeah, think about that. Talk about like ruining someone's life, man. If current Black Ops or Warzone is over 500 gigabytes, and imagine Battlefield 2042 will be. Imagine playing 120 players on PS5 and 120
Ludo,
FPS.
are you good?
Huh? Yeah, no, I'm good.
Moody, you came back. Your forehead sweating, man. That is.
No, I washed my face or whatever, so I had like some water in my eye.
Ah, I thought you like pushed that.
You're just vibing.
I didn't push out a big turd or whatever. Surprisingly, ever since my appendix surgery, I don't have any problems.
Dude, it's so sick. Like, I got mine taken out probably like 2-3 years ago, and that's a whole another fucking story. But like, that was like, it was the recovery was fucking horrible. But like now it's just like smooth sailing.
It's like now it's all good, dude. Now it's all fine, no matter what. Nah, dude, I'm so glad that whole ordeal has come to an end. Surprisingly, I didn't get any pain out of it, which is just the most insane bullshit.
Yeah, because usually people get pain with a burst appendix.
Yeah. I mean, usually you're supposed to be in searing fucking pain, and it turns out I wasn't. So, I mean,
yeah.
I guess I succeeded.
Sitting down hurt though.
Oh, dude, I felt my stomach was gonna pop after the surgery because they stitched you up, and I was like, man, I feel like if I sit down, I'm just gonna have my guts fly out.
So, mine burst at a fucking music festival.
Yikes.
Oh, that must
in Paris, France. So nowhere near home.
Damn, dude, that's gotta
be a weird experience to be like in a hospital in like a country other than your own. Not saying it would be good or bad. It must be weird.
Yeah.
Dude, so like I was like 100 pounds heavier at the time, and I was just like, I was in the American hospital of France, and nobody spoke English, but the ones that did would come in the room and go like, all right, Julian, I see your chart. Your appendix is all great. There's one problem. You should probably lose about 150 pounds. That was every doctor, every nurse, every single a visitor would come in. They would just like hit me with that, and it was just like, yeah, man, France, it's epic.
Dude, my guy kept telling me that like your white blood cell count is still high. It seems like you might still be in infections. I'm like, what? Man, I thought you cleaned me out. What the fuck? You have a tube connected to the... Oh, when he pulled out that tube, that motherfucker, I hate that doctor.
Bro, oh my God.
You have no idea. You're laying there, and like, so I thought he was gonna like fucking staple me, you know what I mean? He was gonna pull out the tube and staple my ass. I could have taken it. I'm like, I'm not a bitch, I'll take it, whatever, fine. I expected a staple. This guy's like, so you're about to be good? I'm like, we're about to like, we're about to just, dress you up. So he's gonna put this little bandage on me. He's like, just breathe. So I'm like, pulls that fucker right out as I'm breathing.
Oh, at least you got a fucking warning, though.
Oh, you didn't
give you a warning?
Guess what? Guess what? They don't speak English over there. They just looked at me. The lady looked at me. Didn't tell me what was happening. She reached down, and I thought she was going to fix my gown, ripped the shit out.
Surprise!
I tell you what,
my soul left my body.
It's like, I'm laying down. He's like, just breathe. Pulls it out. In that moment, I literally wanted to smash his teeth in. I was about to, like, I had this reflex in me. I'm like, I'm about to smash your fucking teeth in, and then he like puts the dress in. It's just all good now. I'm like, you
so
fucking
bad.
asshole. I asked my dad about it. I'm like, oh, what is he doing? I'm like, I told my dad, I'm like, is that normal? I'm like, yeah, it's normal. I've done that 100 times. Like, fucking, told people to just breathe in, rip shit out, and just bandages it. Doesn't give a fuck.
Yep.
I'm like, you're an asshole.
Well,
Fuck that.
Well, I guess it'd be just as like, what else are you gonna do? But that still sucks though. That all of a sudden you're getting this influx of pain after you just had a burst fucking appendix.
Oh, I felt so bad because when I was walking out of the hospital, they were gonna like, we'll wheelchair you out. I'm like, no, I'm not a bitch. I'm not gonna wheelchair myself. I'm gonna show you that I'm getting stronger. Not something you want to do. I'm walking along the walls, just like, dude, you can't even breathe after that surgery for like a good like normal time. Like, you know how people tell you can't breathe because of COVID? This is like 10 times COVID. You're like, you feel like Stevie from
Really?
Malcolm in the Middle, just going, yeah, no, you don't. Like,
Yeah, dude.
It feels like
Like
you're
no lung capacity.
when I got home, like I was laying in bed, I was like, and then after a while, it like fixes up. It gets better, I guess.
Wow, from your appendix bursting, that's so scary.
Dude, there was a moment where like fucking, so I remember like my mom would visit, and then my dad eventually came and started visiting. He's like, all right, it's time to start cleaning your fucking wound and shit. So he rips out the bandages and he's just like cleaning it with like fucking solvents and whatnot. And it's just, it's dude, even like, because my dad, he also had appendicitis, but he had it back in like the fucking 80s and shit. So like his appendicitis is like, his scar is like, it's like a C-section scar vertical, like this
Oh,
is like
God,
back in
yeah.
the old days.
Christ.
And like he told me now, it's like, it's not even that bad. He like drilled a hole in you and sucked the fucking thing out. Like, it's a lot, like this isn't even that bad anymore. Because my dad was like, he's just telling me not to be a bitch. It's like back in the day, it's like they used to cut you open and like rip that shit out. They didn't give a fuck. But I'll tell you what, Rich, before the surgery, when they put me in, you know the time frames I was getting? I was like, look, we can either like put you into surgery, pull your appendix out, and you'll be fine in like 4 or 5 days. But because it was burst for so long, we might have to keep you in here for like 2 months, just draining you. Like 2 months in a hospital bed.
Wow.
Because they were like, we're just gonna keep you in here, draining you for 2. Because he told me it's like, because the way they found out that I had a burst appendix is they put me through a CT scan, and that's when the doctor came in and it's like, yeah, you have a perforated appendix is what they called it. And the doctor who was like, taking care of it, is like, listen, you're so on that fine edge that either we can get it out, or if I open you up and it turns out you're too bad, I'm just gonna leave a drain in you and we'll have to come back some other day. He told me like when he was pulling it out, I was literally on the edge. Like he just got like, because he told me like when they opened me up in the operating room, he was like, man, I don't know if I want to do this. And so the other doctors were like, no, you can kind of do it. We'll get it done. So they kind of tough.
Really?
Yeah.
Like,
it was bad.
Because you just hear about, you both went through it. You hear a burst appendix. Yeah, it could be very dangerous, but like you think it's something simple to just fix. And here you're telling me like it's like a multi-day, it could be a multi-month thing depending on the severity of the burst. That's insane. That's like more than like people going for like a bypass surgery.
No, dude. And the thing is, like, listen, if they find out it hasn't burst, but it's about to burst, because some people are at that stage, it's a pretty simple fix because they'll pull it out before.
Okay,
but when it bursts, when the pus is already spread around, ooh, you better fucking. I was 1 night away from sepsis, shock, and death. That's what I know. Because I was, dude, it was so bad that I felt a fever, but like I was shaking like uncontrollably. Like my body was in all sorts of fucked up modes. I was sleeping in front of the fireplace because I thought, man, I'm just getting all cold. Maybe I'll sleep in front of the fire. No,
Yeah,
my body was.
You thought you probably had, you were saying, but now I'm putting it together. You thought you had like the flu or something because you didn't have any of that pain. You just thought you were sick.
Because I know that when I get the flu, it's like bad. Like I have a bad reaction to the flu. So I'm like, it's probably just. When I find out like 5 days into the flu, I'm like, it should probably be gone. And when I find out like my fevers are just like going from a high to like just like it's all like it's all a rhythm, right? My dad eventually he like looks at it and he's like, it's not the flu, because he asked me, I'm like 2-3 days, I'm like, do you have pain in your stomach? And I'm like, no, I don't. And then eventually when he noticed that like, oh, you're having chills, that's not normal, like you go to the fucking doctor. And then eventually, because my dad was being told everything. The doctors basically told me as much. My dad, like when he was calling the doctor, he's like, "No, you're gonna tell me the whole fucking story. Like I know exactly how bad these things can get." And so after that, my dad was like, "You were probably one night away from just entering sepsis. Like when you go into sepsis, you're dead.
Wow.
Like, basically, you're gonna die. Like unless you get immediate treatment, you're going to God is what's going to happen." So
That's crazy.
when they pulled it out, like when they found it, when my dad was told how bad the appendicitis is, because when you're like, here's the thing: once they know it and they start draining you, you're gonna live. Like there's no chance of really dying, because they have you on antibiotics the entire time. So you're always like, because I was on antibiotics, like IV stuff, for like 4 days straight. So you're gonna be fine on that regard. It's just how much can you drain? You know, how much, like how long is that process gonna be? And
So
That's scary.
that's I didn't know it could mean. I knew sepsis, that I know it could be because you have an infection in you, but what it's just scary with you because you always think, oh, if my appendix is about to burst or is going to or it bursted, you would feel that pain. You didn't.
no, I guess I had a fucking high pain tolerance, or because I even asked the doctor, I'm like, are you just trying to say that I'm a fucking idiot and I should have known this? Like, why do you keep asking me if I'm in pain? Because the doctor was like, you're not in pain, right? Like your stomach isn't hurting? Because they did a fuck ton of tests, man. I was in the fucking room for like 4 hours before they figured it out, because I was just laying there drinking my apple juice and they kept giving me this like Tylenol pill, right? It wasn't no fucking Tylenol, let me tell you that much. The effect that pill had on me was
just
more than
meth.
Tylenol was doing. They straight lied to my ass. So I'm just laying over there, and she's like testing my blood. She's like, all right, I'm gonna run a mono test on you. And then I call my dad up. I'm like, Dad, what's a mono test? My dad's like, who the fuck is getting mono right now? Why is she testing for mono? What the fuck? And then like she does maybe like she's done so much blood tests on me that day that I'm not even drawing blood out of my veins anymore. Like at some point the nurse comes in, she ties a tourniquet and she's just like sticking something in, and she's like, you're not bleeding anymore. Like I don't know what to do. And I'm like, what do you want me to do? You've been in here 5 times drawing blood out. At some point the body's gonna stop. Like fuck you. And then eventually she's like, all right, we're going to put you into a CT scan. And the CT scan shit, that is fucking wild. So I didn't know this, but they stick this fluid in you that warms the fuck up out of you. And apparently it's like X-ray fluid. Like the fluid apparently shows up in the machine as like the street, like they're checking how your flow works. Dude, this thing goes into me. I'm just like, dude, I felt like hot flashes for 30 seconds. It was the weirdest feeling in the world.
I've heard that. I've heard that.
It's so weird.
But luckily that CT scan was the one thing that proved it, because the day I came in before, they were firing me with like x-rays, doing urine tests and shit like that. And I was like, man, you're not finding anything on me. Like, I will say, like, the fucking, thank God the healthcare system in Canada saved my ass, though, because, like, I looked at the bills in America for appendicitis, and it was like fucking 6 figures and shit. Like, you really owe a life debt to your fucking doctor.
Yeah,
So I'm just sitting over in the hospital. I remember they gave me the bill here too when I was in the recovery. They actually gave me like a bill for the healthcare. So I looked at it, I'm like, what the fuck? Dude, I don't have my wallet on me. I can't give you anything right now, but sure, give me the bill. And I look at the bill and it's like, yeah, it's $0. You just have to sign for it. I'm like, yeah, it's just a customary thing. I'm like, all right, thank God.
Yeah, you just opened up a can of worms talking about American healthcare. Yeah, so you will be we're the country, the only developed nation in the world where you can go bankrupt from almost dying. It's fun.
Oh, wait, your surgery was free?
Yeah, mine was completely free.
Damn.
I walked in, they didn't charge me. All they did was they took my health card, which was already expired, by the way, interesting, and the only reason it's expired is because COVID, so we can't really renew as easily. So they took, here, I'll show you what the fucking Canadian little health card looks like. Let me just check
Dude,
if it
it was
has.
so expensive in France.
Wait, they charge you in France too? I thought they had like, oh, it's because you're not a resident.
It was like $8,000.
Yeah.
How the hell did you lose 100 pounds, Slushii, speaking of health?
Oh, so I feel like, so I got the gastric sleeve thing.
Okay.
And I've just been like, so I got my appendix was taken out, and I got super sick after. I lost a bit of weight that way, and then I started playing VR a lot, and then I was just, my BMI was like a 45 or something ridiculous. Like my ratio of like fat to everything else was just so dense.
that I just ended up getting it, and
Yeah, dude,
we're
you look
active now.
totally different. Like, yeah, it's crazy, man. Good for you,
wild.
though. You know.
Thank you.
Yeah, for
Get my
the chat
Starbucks
over there,
sandwich.
as long as you have this little green card in Canada, you're good to fucking go. They don't bill you at all.
But yeah, I wish it was like that in the States.
Well, isn't it like how much you guys pay for your like? You guys have to go through private, so you have to pay like a monthly bill, right? Like
Have to pay, and here's the beauty of it: they could still deny you coverage. So it's like, oh, it's health insurance, it's necessary, and you have it. Oh, you're good if you have it. But our doctor who has done nothing but look at your fucking chart, who works for the company whose job is to make sure they deny as many claims as possible, said that your leg is rotting off. Well, our insurance company has decided that we're not going to pay for that.
Dude, my buddy Tyler was telling me, because when I was in the hospital, I was messaging him, and he's from like Tennessee. So I told him, I was like, because me and him were texting, I was like, hey, Tyler, so it's like, man, how much does this bag of saline cost? He's like, I was in the fucking hospital. That shit apparently, because they get the itemized bills over there, you can get them. And he's like, that shit costs like over $1,000, apparently, the IV, like, saline bag. I'm like, is this water with salt in it? They charged you that much? It's like, fuck, I didn't pay for it. Fuck that shit.
It's a
Like,
racket.
That's crazy.
It's a middleman mafia racket, but we're getting into politics, and my head already hurts from my wonderful fucking day anyway.
I don't know. It's a wild world to get into. But then again, I don't understand how the U.S. system works. I don't know the positives or negatives of it. I know that every time, like when it comes to the healthcare system, I know everyone always says like we have long lines in the Canadian system. So when I got my appendix burst, I didn't fucking see no goddamn line. They just threw me into they threw me into operation that fucking night. They called me. They didn't say anything. But I do have experience with like some close family that have like more severe conditions. They do have like a year plus wait for a specialist at times. That's and it happens. I think there's a negative and a positive for both systems. However, I will say like paying 6 figures for a fucking surgery. That's not that ruins you, man. Like I can understand why people don't go to a fucking hospital. I can understand why people don't go to a paramedic, you know?
Oh, and they will put you in debt forever, and you will pay interest on whatever payments you put out, and it will put you into bankruptcy, and you will not be able to buy a house, and you will all for like how does any other I hate getting into fucking politics, but how is the States supposed to be the wealthiest nation in the world is the only one that can't afford that, but every other state,
that's how you guys stay wealthy though. You guys know how to make a racket out of everything.
Yeah, man. Like, but we can't pay. Like, then you have Ben Shapiro from the fucking States, and he's like, I compare it to a couch you can't afford. If you can't afford that couch, then you shouldn't be able to afford healthcare. Yes, that means you should die. There should be a paywall in people's lives. Thank you, Ben.
Jesus Christ, Ben Shapiro, dude.
Yeah.
God, that's a blast from the past. I don't even like. I remember that from like 2015-ish, 2016 YouTube.
Oh,
he constantly got thrown into my recommendations.
Oh, he's still relevant with the right wing now because he says a bunch of big words that people don't understand, so they think he's a philosopher.
How's Steven Crowder doing? I didn't even follow him up, but he had like a heart surgery. Man. I feel really. I think there's something about politics, man. There's something about politics that I really dislike a lot. Like I don't agree with everything that fucking fuck, I just forgot his name again. Jesus Christ.
Wait, Steven Crowder did he have heart surgery? Holy shit.
I think so. Yeah, he has some fucking problems for sure. Like, I don't agree with everything that fucking Steven Crowder will say. Like, there's obviously a lot of things that I'll disagree with, but it's like, man, I just wish, because I'm on Twitter, and when he was getting his surgery, they're like, man, I hope he dies. I'm like, man, what the fuck? Like, disagree with the dude all you want, but that is so fucked up, man. It's like what politics will do is just wild.
Yeah, no, I don't wish death on that. I mean, believe me, I think, the fact that he has to, like, wear a gun holster while he's taking a shit makes me laugh. But
yeah,
I mean, I hope his surgery goes through, man. Like, nobody deserves a health crisis like that. Fuck.
Is it
especially
recent?
At his age?
Yeah, it's a very recent. Like, I don't think he's uploading content recently because that's what he's going for. It's like I think he's just in there because his recovery is like a month, man. Like it's wild, and he's already having like kids. I think too. He's having like fucking kids on the way, so it's just it can be hard, man. It's a tough deal. Like, I mean, he's in the States, so it's like money might not be a concern for him, you know, with this situation. But it's like it's the fact that you're going for a fucking heart surgery, right? Like, do you come out of that
And
alive?
that doesn't
Like,
just
fuck.
sound like a bypass. If they're keeping him there for a month, it sounds like
No,
he has
I
some
don't think
kind
he's
of-
there for a month. It's just the recovery on that is a month. Like, he can't.
Oh yeah,
there's
no, my
way
dad
to-
went through that. So yeah,
Yeah.
my dad went through that. It is because like if it's a huge fucking surgery even to this day.
Oh yeah, no. I asked my dad about it. I'm like, a month? He's like, no, he's because I told him, I'm like, he's a pretty fit guy, you know. It's like, he's like, no, you're recovering for a month, no matter who you are. You can be like, you can be the fittest person in the world and most unhealthy motherfucker. That shit will fuck you up.
Yeah,
Like,
but
it is bad.
They literally depend. I know there's some places that they refine the surgery with new technologies, but they're literally sawing your sternum, opening up your rib cage, and they get
Yeah.
it with they bypass. They get a vein like from your leg or whatever, depending on how many veins they need, and they're stopping your heart and having a machine pump your blood while your heart is stopped, so they could actually do the bypass with the vein. So yes, it's gonna fuck you up. I don't know how I know all that about a bypass, probably because my father went through it, but I know that, it's intense fucking surgery. The only thing more intense is brain surgery. And Jesus, God help, I hope no one has to need that.
So is Steven Crowder monetized on here now, or did he get demonetized again? Because I heard like conflicting things. He just keeps getting like money. He keeps getting like punished from the partnership program, but he still like succeeds. I don't know. I don't know his entire thing. He rocks the algorithm though. He constantly gets recommended to me. That dude knows how to fucking survive.
Yeah, I don't know. Or maybe he is remonetized. I don't know. I remember the whole thing with him like going after. I think it was Carlos Maza from The Verge, and he.
Oh yeah, because he made those shirts, and it's like, what is it, like the fake shirts or something?
Yeah.
Like,
God hates figs or something like that.
yeah.
What?
Yeah, that's a Steven Crowder. Again, I don't agree with his grift. I think he's a fucking grifter, but I don't wish death on him, and I hope he comes through okay. You know.
Over political stance? That's just dumb.
Yeah, no, dude, that's the thing in America that I've always noticed about politics. Like, I'll just straight up admit, I'm a dumbass when it comes to anything political, but, like, man, in the United States, it's like, unless you're from, like, one side or the other, ooh, fuck, you better really commit. It's like, you better...
No.
It's like sports at the extreme, man.
Well, that's the camp that I'm in, and I talk about people in the community, kind of like Muda, and I talk about, tech, and because I'm not middle of the road, but I'm objective and I don't grift, it kind of gets me in some hot water, like it did today with a person with a beard who's has the name Quarter in it.
Oh my god.
Oh, 25 cent man.
All right. Here, I'm going to address...
Well, I mean, you're already scraping it. You might as well just address
Yeah,
it.
I'm gonna dive in.
Go for it.
Just go in. We're here.
Yeah. It started with the fact that during my live streams, people come up. Like, people will see either super chat me or we'll just start talking about somebody in my streams. Yes, I do from time to time bring up the quartering because he's mentioned. Mm-hmm. So, yesterday is a perfect example of that. He was mentioned to me that, he was talking shit about you, saying, like, you're a lolcow like Chris Chan, and, like, I think he lumped me in with DSP.
What?
Which, all right, you want to dump me in with DSP Gaming and Wings of Redemption? I don't care. Fine, you think I'm a lolcow. I rip my shirt off during the streams. It's okay. But then it went into where I was on Twitter. I said something about, like, how people, and I'm sure you guys have seen this too, how people on YouTube think that they're A-list Hollywood celebrities, and I don't think anyone on here is shit. So he responded back with that, like, hey, I just checked that your dating... The quartering responded back, hey, I just checked that your dating profile. And then he posted a picture of my dating profile. Then he told me, after another reply, then he told me that I should get off dating profiles and go take care of my kids, and then called me a creep. So that was...
Well, I just looked at the channel. He made an apology video.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't watched it.
It's interesting. I've seen part of it. It's not a full apology. All I'll say about that is a lot of people think that I have a motivation to do it. It's just like when I call it anything else in the gaming industry.
I thought actually you were friends with him or something.
I did a video with him back in 2018 where he actually featured me on there. We were both kind of talking about the Diablo Immortal thing at the time.
Yeah, that fucking clusterfuck.
Yes. Dude, yeah. That don't you have phones? When the hell is that game even coming out?
I think I heard it was like alpha somewhere in Australia, and even then nobody fucking played it. Stupid.
So, yeah, I did that with him, and then, you know, I came to
Use the bathroom really quick.
It's all good.
Yeah, man, it's all good.
Oh no, the stream is missing something. God damn it! Hold on, and then I'll keep
Still
going.
have 4 vids? Absolutely.
Buddha's like, what the fuck did I just walk into? Anyway. So,
don't worry about it. Go ahead.
And we'll get to the other super chats. I don't want anyone to think, but now the stream is amazing. So now I got the nips out. So, what the hell was I even saying? So,
You were talking about the Diablo Immortal shit.
yeah,
with,
so what I realized later on is that I realized with his channel that he never really practiced what he preached, so I kind of jumped off the train, and like anything else I do in the YouTube community, I made videos and criticized him for things that he's done. I'll make it into, I'll go super cliff notes. Basically what it turned into last night is I always kept it about, I think his content sucks and I think he grifts, and he put up a picture of my dating profile and started going into personal stuff and said that I'm a communist that sucks on Vosh's dick. Is what it comes.
You know, I don't agree with everything like Cordring says. I think we're pretty like split on a lot of stuff, but there is some stuff about the Cordring that I've always appreciated. I think it was way back to like, it was actually a month ago, before I moved. There was like this fucking, I think it was Tariq Nasheed. That fucking dipshit, dude. He was like promoting some race baiting clip or whatever, and like he actually started like some charity for that dude, and he actually like, I don't know, made it work out. There's a few things like I disagree with the guy for sure, especially with the Cordring. I mean, like, I don't know. I think it's just, it feels like it felt like just, I don't know. I don't know if he was like fucking in the right space or something. I don't know if, you know, maybe.
Well, what I heard is this, and the thing is, like I've said before, another thing we were also, even though it's kind of hypocritical of him, he's very against cancel culture. Even though the funny thing is, last night I forgot to mention this. He brought up an old thing I said about Barack Obama on Facebook back in like 2009 or 2010 to try to cancel me. So, okay. But look, yeah, a lot of his takes on like the anti-SJW stuff I was on board with. But then when it went down, you know, he went down a rabbit hole. But
I mean, I think he has his own like market, and you know, it is what it is. It's his side of the internet. You know, everyone has like their sort of audience that they cater to, that specific side. I don't know. Maybe I'm biased. I've always had like a positive like. We've never had like a fucking thing against each other. Like he never shit talked me. I never shit talked him. I never had anything. Yeah.
Yeah. Which...
I think we're on like a polar opposite between each other. Every time like he ever got involved with me, it was always like we were on like the same kind of side. Well, that one time specifically. I don't know. Last night, because I was on Twitter, I was like reading through it. I was like, man, this is just like, what the fuck? Because Cordring was like taking up the timeline, and you were taking up the timeline. I'm like, man, I got to get down to this beef right now. What the fuck?
Yeah, and the thing from what I heard, and he could have not been. Now, I heard rumors that he said that he wasn't, but people have messaged me, and this is what they said to me, or they tweeted back at me, is that like, yeah, this is a thing that he does where he drinks, goes on social media and says stuff, and then it gets deleted the next morning. So I don't know, but then I'm hearing that he said that he wasn't. So I don't know what the hell happened with all that. And
that must be a fucking great drink, Jesus Christ.
Well, you know what happened too with him, where he was, I think he was drunk and like he peed in his basement, in the drain of his basement while he was live streaming. So.
Yeah, Ethan like filled me in on that. Ethan Klein actually told me about that whole thing. I don't even know what it was, but I mean, I don't know. I kind of do like his response. He's like, "It's my fucking house. You know, I pay the mortgage. I'll piss in the drain if I want to." I'm like, I can't argue with that logic. Go for it. You know, fucking. I wouldn't pee in my own drain, but hey, I ain't paying your property tax. You do what you do.
Yeah, you don't want to talk to me because when I was 15, I was too lazy to go upstairs, so I used to pee in my parents had the cat box downstairs where we had our theater, and I used to piss in the litter box and just blame it on the cat. My dad's like, "What the fuck, cat piss is this?"
No, like I'll give it like if Quartering's peeing down in the fucking drain, I'll give you a grade. So like if I'm getting drunk one night, I'm not peeing down the drain. I collapse in the shower and I probably end up peeing on myself. Like it's happened a bunch of times, dude. I ain't gonna deny it. In Australia, I got so wasted. I was in like I got home after. This is when they denied giving me booze. They don't sell you booze when you're drunk in Australia, which pisses me off. Because I walk into it and I was like, "Give me some goddamn Uncle Jack." "Are you drunk, sir?" And I'm like, "Yeah? The fuck? You see me?" It's like, "We can't sell you booze." So I go the entire time home. They will give me room service booze, so I paid up the ass for that. Eventually, I just got so wasted that like, I was like, "Man, I need a fucking shower." I fell into the shower in that hotel and I just fucking golden showered myself, called it. I took off my clothes. I'm like, I'm in the shower. I'm like, I'm gonna take a hot shower real quick. I collapse and then I'm just like. And then it's like super warm, and it takes me like a minute to register. I'm like, "Oh, I'm pissing on myself. Holy shit, that's why it's so warm."
I've never been that drunk that I've pissed on myself. However, I have been to the point where I can't walk and I just like projectile puke right out in the parking lot. But that's actually quite entertaining that you actually pissed yourself and fell into
I am pissing on myself in the shower while a cigarette is lit. That's about it. Like I'm smoking. I'm like in the middle of this fucking smoke that's probably extinguishing because of the shower. I'm like, why is it fucking warm? You know, why is it so goddamn warm? 30 seconds later, I'm like, I'm pissing on myself. I get it. I understand what's happening now. And you know what? At the end of the day, like, it was disgusting in my head, but I'm like, it's running water. So, like, logically, I'm going to be fine. I'm still going to be clean, I guess. I was like, what do I care, dude? It's my hotel room. I don't give a fuck anymore, dude. In fact, I'm gonna have another beer, and I still drank more that night, dude. I called it I had a fun night, dude. I'm telling you.
And you probably had a fun hangover the next day. Do you get hungover?
I didn't get a hangover, actually. You know why? Because I predicted it, dude. And I woke up and I was like, let me have another beer. I got to keep the streak going.
Oh, see, I can't do that.
I woke up, I poured myself some Jack Daniel, and I knocked back a couple shots. I'm like, let's go for fucking brunch, dude. Goddamn. Like, I had it all tactical.
I felt it, like, I've done that, like, twice in my life where you just keep drinking to keep away the hangover. And it just didn't work with me. It just made me feel like I was dried out, like someone was squeezing my fat ass and just, like I just felt like my whole body just hurt. And it was actually worse than the hangover, if that makes any sense. But
no, like the way I did it was I did like some chaser shots to sort of like, you know, not be totally drunk, but also not be totally sober, like sort of ease that out, because I knew my hangover was gonna be bad, man. I'm telling you, I did that once at PAX South, and I woke up fucking bad, the worst hangover I've ever had, and I had to go to the convention again. And I was just fucking pissed the entire... I didn't tell anybody else. I was pissed for like 2 hours. I'm like, dude, my head fucking hurts. I don't even want to have breakfast anymore. I don't want to live right now. Like, we went to breakfast at PAX at some, like... It was down in Texas, so it was like this Texas barbecue. It was like the greatest food in the world, but I'm like, dude, I have a hangover. I don't care how good the fucking ribs are. I'm about to die, okay? Like, I am literally about to die.
That is the worst. That is the worst feeling. Like when like even seeing the sight of food makes you want to be sick. Where you're that hungover.
I was so fucking hungover, dude. I got the food because I don't want to be a little bitch or whatever in like the group of friends. So I was like, sure, I'll get food. They had this giant pitcher of iced tea, and I'm like, can I just buy the pitcher? Can I just like buy this? Like the whole thing. Fuck you.
And you're like, it's just a thirst where it like almost aches until you drink when you're that hungover.
Yeah.
Like it's like you actually feel your body, like the pain subsides somewhat throughout your body, because that's how dehydrated you are.
Dude, and the worst thing about it too is not even the food, it's the fact that your Uber driver doesn't know when to shut the fuck up, you know? Like,
yes.
It's like you're sitting there in the car. He knows you're hungover. Like, he knows you're fucking hungover. The dude still needs to have a conversation. I'm like, I get it. Uber, it's a social fucking deal. We don't have to talk. Just drive the car, okay? You see me visibly upset, all right? I'm not having a good morning. Like, fuck you, dude. But Texas is a wild place, man. I was 5 minutes away from an active an active shooting. I don't know why I said school there, but an active shooting. That was a weird state, dude. Whew. That night, dude, they had a nightclub shooting. I almost went to a nightclub where they had the fucking shooting. Dude, that was the one night where I lived, dude. They had a shooting at a fucking club. The same club I wanted to go to, but we didn't go to it because it was too far out of the way, man.
Jesus
Fuck that
Christ.
state, dude. You know what's the weirdest thing, too, is, like, Texans, like, in San Antonio, I was at the fucking bar, like, at night. I was, like, talking to the bartender. I'm like, so there's a shooting, like, 5 minutes away. It's like, yeah, it's normal. It happens. It's a typical Friday. It's a weekend in Texas. I'm like, this is just normal for you guys? There's a fucking deranged dude in the other 5 minutes away?
I was debating moving to Texas because they have no state taxes there.
Dude, Texas is... It is nice. It's... Well, okay, fine. Let me be honest. San Antonio, not exactly the greatest city, okay? Kind of a little shithole, but Dallas is nice, dude. Dallas isn't even that expensive from what I've heard. It's cheaper than where you're at.
Where I was, it was flat and brown. That was kind of like it was just weird. Like, I felt like I was like in full out New Vegas. Like, you just see for way out, and everything is just brown. That was one thing that was kind of weird
Texas. Too. You ever been to like Vegas and shit? That place is like fucking dude. Vegas is like wild wasteland on Fallout. So so this is my first time in Vegas, right? So the Strip, that's what everyone knows about the Vegas. You're one block off of the Strip, fucking hell zone, dude. I'm telling you, that place. It's like civilization in one side, fucking Afghanistani war zone like a fucking block off. Like, there are some wild dude, I was at a Taco Bell one time. This dude in a wheelchair just kept eyeing me the entire time while I ate. Dude, it was the one day where I'm like, I'm at this, dude, it's in the morning. We're at this Taco Bell for breakfast, right, with our friend. This one dude in a wheelchair is just, like, going back and forth, eyeing us out. I'm like, we're getting stabbed today, dude. We're getting stabbed by a wheelchair gangbanger. It's gonna happen.
Looking like that old lady from Resident Evil 7 as you walk around the room.
Dude, it was the weirdest thing ever. And then I go into this is the first time I find out like how open carry the state of Nevada is. I'm at a McDonald's too, just grabbing my meal. This one Poindexter looking dude just comes up next to me. His shirt goes up a little bit, and it's just like a fucking Glock 17 on this dude's chest. And I'm like, you're at a McDonald's, bro. How dangerous is the Big Mac? Like, what the fuck, man? Dude, this one time in the Uber, so I'm staring at the hotel. This Uber guy scared the shit out. I thought I was gonna get fucking abducted. So I get an Uber Eats, right? Like in the middle of the night. The guy doesn't drop the Uber Eats off. He's like, get in my car, like, get in my car real quick. I'm just like, what? Like, at first I'm like, all right, dude, this is not a good idea. I don't think I want to take this Uber Eats. But then I'm like, man, I'm really fucking hungry. And that's a really good burger, you know? Maybe I might as well risk it. So I get my keys, right? And then I'm just like, I get the key fob, I take the key out and I put it in between my knuckles. I'm like, if it goes south, man, if it goes south, we're gonna have a time. I get in, and he's like, I just wanted to give you good food. They wouldn't let me park here. So we're going to block off. He's like, now you got your food, okay? Have a good night. I'm like, man, Vegas is fucking weird, dude. I just wanted my goddamn burger, and this motherfucker is trying to abduct me. Like, the fuck? It's the weirdest place, man.
I have never used Uber Eats. I have no idea. Like, what the hell is it? What the hell is it? What the hell
it's
is
just,
it?
It's like you order food from your restaurant and they just like drive it over. It's
so
just,
they're like the
DoorDash.
middleman, and they just like, okay, so you order from wherever and they drive you and they bring you the food, or that you have to drive with them?
No. You can order the food. There's like two options now, but like, you know, you deliver a burger or whatever. Because it's like late at night. I'm like, man, this is a juicy ass burger. I want to order that in. So somebody drops over a burger to you. Except, I guess in Nevada in the casinos, they don't let every Uber driver park. They just tell you to jump in my fucking car. Jump in real quick. I'm like, like when they said that, I was like, what the fuck? Like, in my head, I'm telling you, dude, like, in my head, immediately I was like, this is a bad idea, don't do it. But then, like, That's a good ass burger, dude. It looks good in the photo. It might be worth getting fucking stabbed, you know? Why not?
You're fucking getting kidnapped over a burger.
That was a good burger, man. Dude, if I even got kidnapped and that was the last thing I ate, it might even be worth it. That was a good fucking burger. I don't give a fuck. It was like real meat, you know what I mean? Like, you know, you get used to eating fucking McDonald's so much, and then they actually give you a burger like with meat in it instead of like processed chicken like rectum. You're not complaining, you know?
Chicken rectum.
Dude, that's a Big Mac. Big Macs in the United States. So in Canada, we have like really stringent food laws where like they actually have to give you food. In the United States, like you order a Big Mac, that's not real meat. That was never a real chicken. Like, I don't give a fuck what McDonald's says. That was not a chicken. That might be genetically modified chicken or something that grew up in some lab. That was not a real chicken. You go out to any other part of the world, they give you a real fucking burger. Something in America, dude, it ain't right.
Subway, they had a chemical that they also used in yoga mats in the bread.
Did you hear about their tuna?
So good.
Yeah, but it's actually, I heard something later on that it's when you cook fish, it destroys the DNA. So I don't know if it's like, yeah, I heard like they did DNA test and it came back as like horse, but they say, I also read that it destroys the DNA when anything's cooked, so it's not as big of a deal.
I heard their tuna was so processed that they just couldn't identify the DNA pattern. I was like, man, that sounds good.
Every time, not that you want to know about my ass, but every time I have Subway, it doesn't matter if it's a salad, because I try to avoid the bread because I still have large man titties. I have explosive shits it's maybe not at first, but it's like you could stop your fucking watch to it like an hour and a half after that my ass explodes. So there has to be something in their food.
They stick it in, they give you the baby laxative in there, dude. It just takes effect later.
Dude, I could just have a fucking Subway sandwich and go for a colonoscopy afterwards. It's every time.
Subway's is a weird food, man. Like it's like I hate it. But there's something about that Subway sandwich that just keeps me coming back. Otherwise, I hate it though. I don't know what it's going on though. I don't know why.
Yeah, and it's like you're willing to pay. I don't get the sandwiches. I'll get like, all right, maybe if I want a salad while I'm out. But back even when I ate the sandwiches, it's like, yes, this sucks, but I'm still gonna eat it anyway. Yes, it's $13 for a sandwich and a fucking Diet Coke, but I'm gonna eat it anyway.
You know, on the opposite end, you got Taco Bell, which is like the cheapest food has ever been, and I'm still questioning if it's even real fucking food.
Yeah, but it's actually but Subway tastes like shit. At least Taco Bell, I don't know what the fuck they're doing, but it doesn't taste like shit.
Subway.
I think most people are high eating Taco Bell, so it probably adds up into the whole flavor.
Subway in Australia is like top tier for Subway for sure. It's
why? What's different there?
That I'll eat. Like
real meat,
bro. The real meat, their food laws are super strict over there as well. But like they go through like a different like food code than I guess we do over here. And the food like the ham or like the classic sandwiches just taste like legit sandwiches. Versus here, it kind of tastes like they chemically threw together a bunch of shit and like I don't know 3D printed the bread.
It's probably their laws over there because the states they don't. It just has to
prison grade fucking crap.
Dude, it just has to resemble. Is that actually made from chicken? Well, we also chopped in some horse and some gorilla in there too, so it's kind of chicken.
Have you seen all that like fake meat stuff, the fake Beyond Meat market and everything? And it's just like
Impossible Whopper is so good.
It's so fucking good. It is.
Actually, it's surprisingly like I had the Impossible Meat one for the first time. It's like, man,
you don't
actually taste good. Yeah, I was like, man, I can't tell the difference right now.
I hear so much mixed shit about that. Some places like I hear they put like really crazy nefarious shit, and then I hear it's just like pea protein and beets and whatever.
I think it's weird because what the Impossible people do is like they actually have like that moistness to the burger. Like if I eat like the Beyond Meat shit, it literally does taste like overcooked patty, like I'm biting into it. I'm like,
it bleeds. It bleeds. It's weird. Like I know it's from like beet coloring and stuff like that, but they get
like a special protein that they find in the actual like animal, and then they like used like a specific yeast, like genetically engineered yeast, to like use the vegetable version of that like protein and like reproduce it really fast, and then they inject that into the burger. Like it's called heme or something. It's what like makes the food bloody apparently for like meat, right? But they found it in like, I think it's tofu or like soy, and they just took that and like used yeast to like reproduce it at like some crazy rate. It's actually interesting. I just don't know how they, like, again, it tastes really good. It's just I don't know why.
In some applications, like if you put an Impossible Burger on your own grill, it doesn't taste like if you just like, I mean, obviously you could garnish it up, but if you like have a real piece of beef and that next to each other, you're gonna taste the difference.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, the idea is that you don't have a real meat burger next to you to directly compare, right? It's like, you know how you have like all those fucking losers who jump on a Digital Foundry video to like fucking talk about how great their gaming console is, you know, and they're like looking at the finite detail between the two, and they use that in the argument. Like, as long as you're not doing that with this, you know, it's gonna pass, you know.
Oh yeah, if you dress it up too, especially like it tastes like what you guys have had, the Whopper, the Impossible Whopper. You don't taste you. I could hand that to someone and tell them it's meat, and they wouldn't know. Hopefully, they don't have an allergy, but they wouldn't know.
Actually, this is a good segue now that I think about it. Rich, what do you think about the console war right now? What do you think about like the fact that we're arguing over SSD implementations? That's how low we've gotten.
Dude,
it's so bad.
I
know you have a lot to say. Go ahead. It's a lot.
What we're fighting about is which game upgrades. I mean, okay, there's the few exclusives on the PS5, but it's just, I don't know. I just feel like they just upgraded gaming PCs for them. Like, okay,
there's no visual differences between either console anymore, man. Like, dude, resolution doesn't even matter that much in PC gaming these days because we have AI upscaling that makes it look as good, and now it's translating to the console. Dude, it's like, I guess maybe the resolutions are different, but like, are we noticing it that much when we're playing a video game? Like,
no.
Like, when's the last time you loaded up any game? Like, I get it. If you're PC gaming, resolutions are easy to tell apart. You know, like we're looking at our PCs this close. You know, like any change in the resolution, we figure it out. But like on a gaming console, like if I'm sitting over and playing it on that television on a couch that far, doesn't matter if it's a fucking Series X or a PS5 or whatever. It just doesn't look different to me whatsoever.
It could be a 1080p TV from 2010 too, and that's where we're going, man. We're, you know, are we really going to notice a difference between 4K and 8K, which even a 3090 isn't running that comfortably right now? Like,
yeah, we're upscaling it from 4K to 8K, and it's like, dude, at that point, why? Like, even 4K, like my monitors are like ultra wide 1440p's. I haven't even done 4K gaming. I know I can do it, but it's like, it just seems like such a waste of resources on your computer, right? Like,
give me a high frame rate. It's more fun.
Dude, I was playing Death Stranding on PC, so like they have this DLSS feature. I'm sure your chat obviously knows what DLSS is, but like when they released the DLSS for that game and I fired it up on my computer, I was getting frame rates of like fucking 170 frames on Death Stranding. Like, it was insane. Like, it was running at my 1440p monitor at DLSS, and it looked as good, man. Like, it looked as good as 4K. I'm sure in the motion, like when I was moving around and moving the camera around, like that's when you notice a bit of the artifacting. But I'm like, who's looking for that anymore? You know, like, who's that fucking anal about their game's visuals? Like, it ran good. Highest settings, no issues. Ran just fine.
Now, Slushii, do you do PC gaming or are you just on consoles?
I'm PC when I'm home. I have my Oris they built me a computer. I have no idea. I'd be the fucking Verge guy building my own computer.
Okay.
But I have my 3080 and just chilling.
So do you play at high frame rates, or like is that a thing to you, or do you not care?
Yeah. I mean, I'm like the phone guy. Like, whenever a screen is 60 hertz, it kind of hurts my soul a little bit.
Okay.
When you have the Samsung and you hit that like 120, it feels a bit more buttery smooth, and
yeah.
So I can relate that over to the gaming side. Like playing, like, let's say Fortnite or Rocket League in 144 versus 60 versus 30, like, or whatever on the Switch, it's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, the high frame rates really ruin it for anything because I'm trying to play games like Cyberpunk. I can never get that up to like the frame rate for my system at all, like on 120. But like, it's after you played 120 FPS so long, it's hard to go back to 60 because you feel that input lag.
You feel it. Like I was playing Doom Eternal and it had the different modes on the Series X. You could do ray tracing or you could turn off ray tracing and just go 120. It's like,
Wait, is that ray tracing with 60 frames?
yes, ray tracing at 60 for Doom Eternal on the Series X. But it's like doing 30 frames per second over cloud gaming, because once you go to like 120 then go back down to 60, it's like I can't take this. You feel that much more lag. That's
hard. It's hard to get used to, man. Especially now that consoles are giving 120 FPS options. It's like I just enable that no matter what. Like Devil May Cry, they have this 120 FPS on the PS5, and my TV supports it, dude. It's like I don't give a fuck about ray tracing. I don't give a fuck about anything else. That game at 120, and I know it's not hitting 120, but if it's like 100 frames, I prefer that over the 60, dude. It's like just for those kind of games, you need it, especially for like Fortnite or anything.
And you feel it. It's not even about, like I said, just it looks smooth. Like you feel it in the controller and you feel it with the whole experience. You know what I mean?
Dude, chat, you got to realize with like this shit like DLSS and everything that's kicking in, this is like the future of like gaming. Like this is why like a lot of these resolutions, a lot of these things don't matter anymore. When I'm talking about 4K, like we started off with resolution is like just it's becoming more irrelevant as the time passes, you know? Like, there was actually a video, I don't know if you guys watched it on YouTube, but some guy took Death Stranding and the DLSS engine, and he was gaming at, like, 144p. And it looked fucking good, because he was using DLSS to upscale the game from 144p. And he was actually getting, like, a pretty good, like, visual makeup. Like, it's getting to a point where it's hard.
Yeah, it's going to get to the point where we're just all gaming in the cloud anyway. It's just probably, it's
Rich, don't say that. Don't say that, please. Don't curse
I know. I always open up, like, I think I just like getting slapped in the back of the fucking head, but it's eventually going to go there. Not that I want to.
Rich, you don't want to game on Stadia. I've tried Stadia again on my gigabit connection. I'm still having input issues. Okay, well, I guess I picked the wrong game because they had Rainbow Six Siege on there, and I was like, let me try a competitive shooter in cloud. Nope, never happening. Nope.
Dude, you're telling me that you never had an Ouya LAN party?
Oh, I've had numerous.
I've never owned a fucking Ouya. God damn,
dude,
I don't know.
I owned a Ouya.
You still own it?
It's probably in my closet, thrown upside down with like 30 spiders in it. I don't know. I think I do somewhere, but. Man, I was so hyped for the Ouya before, like back in like 2012 before it came out, and it was the biggest life disappointment. Still more disappointing even than the Atari VCS. I
know your videos from back in the day. I watched that Ouya preparation. Yeah. I know Rich was excited for the Ouya.
I was excited for the fucking Ouya, and you know what? It was the worst experience ever.
It is the saddest shit that ever came out, and like the fact that, what was like the top games on it at the time, Rich? What was it, like Shadowgun or some
nothing
shit?
They had it, they asked the CEO. I just talked about that. We actually had, like, we watched the videos from we had a live stream. They asked the CEO, the console's just about to come out, or maybe it was even already out, doesn't matter, the context doesn't matter, it's still a terrible answer. They're like, what is the must-have game for this system? And she goes, what is that game with the thing that has the other thing and it slaps the thing? She had no answer.
She just listed some random mobile game or something.
You're about to release a console and your whole thing is to break into a part of the industry that no one else can, and you're not giving a break into the industry game? You're just saying, what's that game with the frog that fucking farts? That was actual game on there. There was a frog that farted.
It's crazy, man. The only people that have been able to do what the Ouya has done is kind of just Nintendo Switch, dude. They were the only ones able to do it. You think about the Switch right now, and it's like they literally took smartphone technology and turned it into a home console, and it works.
It's a Tegra X. They put The Witcher 3 on a Tegra X1.
Did you see the Digital Foundry when they got it running up to 60 frames too? I fucking shat myself. I'm like, there's no way.
They overclocked it and got rid of it, and they had The Witcher 3 running at 60 FPS on, I was about to say the Ouya, on the Nintendo Switch. Yeah, that was pretty fucking mind-blowing.
You know, it's kind of fucked up that they didn't even they dropped the ball on that Pro system. Like, I knew they weren't making the Pro, but I'm like, man, I kind of wish they kind of upgraded their system. They have to at some point, man. The Switch doesn't have too much life left in it.
Dude, the Tegra X1, the chip in the Switch was 2 years old, or even older than 2 years old when they released it initially, so it was already somewhat outdated. It's mobile tech, so mobile tech ages worse than fucking I do. Like, it ages like fucking milk.
Panic button the developers
Yes.
that are fucking...
Bro, Doom Eternal on the Switch is fucking intense, bro. Being able to just play it on a flight, like, cause I feel like I'm the one consumer dude that's just like I played Skyrim when I was in Europe for a month with nothing to do. I never played it before.
You were the guy in the Switch ad with the Skyrim and the plane.
Yep. It's so game changing because I played, Doom Eternal at like 144 FPS, whatever. Being able to just like chill on a flight and the stewardesses are bringing out the meals and you're just fucking chopping demons' heads off like on a plane. It's fucking epic.
Dude, you gotta get that GPD win shit. That Ouya Neo
my
shit.
Ouya Neo's on the way. I am so...
The Ouya Neo, yeah. Well, here's the thing now. I had such a boner for that in my review. I genuinely did, and I still agree with my boner. But that doesn't sound right. But the thing is now with the Steam Deck, I can't.
Yeah.
Griffin Gaming is a space heater. Yes, it is. I have literally walked into this room. I'm sorry, I'm answering your super chat late, and almost have passed out from the heat that has built up in this room when I forget to put the AC on. But the Steam Deck, like, I was like, oh my god, the Ouya Neo, because I was playing like Zombie Army 4 at 60 FPS, dynamic resolution, yes, but on the go.
It doesn't matter. It's a 720p screen. It's small, whatever.
No, but I'm saying I'm getting 60 FPS, and then all of a sudden they drop the Steam Deck, which has amazing specs, for $399, and the Ouya Neo is $1,000, and I just recommended this thing, and yeah,
dude, I was playing Dead Space on this thing, and then you can't go back to regular gaming, man. You can't go and sit in front.
How is you have the Intel chip in the GPD wing?
I have the i7, the highest one, yeah.
And it has the Iris graphics, right? Or what does it have? It has the new
Iris XE graphics.
How is the compatibility with that?
So it's pretty good. I've only had issues with 2 games. Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So its sky rendering doesn't work that well. Like, it has issues. Persona 4 Golden didn't work at all. Like, it just has the fucked up graphics. However, because it's Intel, you can hook it up to an eGPU, and I had one with my Mac for a while. So I had a 2070 sitting around, so I just put that into a Razer enclosure. I put that underneath my TV, so I just hook up it up like a Switch dock.
Shit.
And it goes up to my big screen, so I can play, like, I was playing Cyberpunk with ray tracing at like 30 frames. Like, it'll go up to like 45, 50, but I think that's too much for the 8-thread chip processor, so I just downscale it to 30. Runs like a standard Switch Pro, I guess.
And that's Thunderbolt 4, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Holy shit.
Dude, but like the thing is with that is like, I hooked it up to all my DLSS compliant games. Runs like a dream. Like, I'm playing GTA in my bed at 60 frames, 1080p, fucking max settings, no problem.
Let me put my shirt back on. I'm going to take a piss for a second. That is insane. Because I don't
know if the Ouya Neo does that though. Does that have GPU compatibility? Or?
No, because it's AMD. But the thing I liked about it, because I have tried that Iris chipset, the thing I like about it is that it has more compatibility. I had issues with that Iris chipset. I've tried it in other devices. I had issues with it.
Apparently it gets fixed because they're doing beta updates and shit, but like, man, that's the only downside to that thing, man. Like, the GPU in the Iris is like, it has incompatibility. Like, even, how are you doing? Do you do Switch emulation on your thing?
No, I have not tried Switch emulation.
Oh, you gotta do Switch emulation. I'm sure you're gonna be able to fucking destroy the GPD, because the GPD is good. It has issues with graphics on Switch. But I was playing The World Ends With You, because I bought that for the Switch, so I backed up my game to the GPD win. 60 frame emulation, literally double the output of the fucking Switch. Fuck that, man.
That's the thing. Well, I'm going to put my shirt back on. Yeah. Give me a second. That's the thing that bugs me about Nintendo just going with the OLED. Because I feel like that was going to be the Switch Pro, but due to the semiconductor shortage, I'm like, I wonder if we could just sell them something with a nicer fucking screen.
Yeah, man, it's like us PS Vita gamers. We're like, yeah, no, it's fucking what a time.
Yeah,
Thanks.
and it's just, I'm like, all right, so how much longer are you going to push this old chip? I don't know.
Dude, I'm worried sometimes because I think about it and it's like they already have like the new Breath of the Wild 2 coming out and it looks bigger than before and it's like, man, Switch is already struggling with these open world games and you want to fucking throw another bastard on there? No way.
Well, not to go full nerd, they're only allowing developers to use 3 of the 4 ARM cores that are in there, and they don't have full access to the RAM either. So not only is it running an older chip, it's running a gimped because developers don't have full access to it. So think about that.
Dude, Apple should make a Switch competitor. They got the ARM chipset to fucking dominate, dude.
Oh my god, the M1. If they just used the M1, it would call it a wrap.
Bro, when I got my MacBook, because when I first saw that it was an M1, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give Apple some money. It's not an Intel chip anymore that's running at 50% capacity. When I was using the M1, I'm like, what the fuck did Apple do? Dude, I bought Parallels on it. Yo, it runs Windows ARM better than Windows itself. What the fuck is going on?
It's so good.
I know Intel or Microsoft tried to go the ARM route too, and it just didn't work out as well so far anyway.
I think they have like the ARM stuff, but I think what they're doing right now is that, well, you got to understand when they're going into the ARM world, the problem is switching those processors is like the app compatibility, right? Like if you're not able to have that comparable Windows experience or the Mac experience, then it's going to fail right there, right? And so what's important for M1 is that they actually added those hardware assists for the x86 to ARM translation. So right out of the box, we're able to use Adobe Premiere, we're able to use After Effects, we're able to use all those pro-grade applications day one. Now, of course, it's going to be phased out in like 3 or 4 years because they want to completely switch to ARM, but it's like, that was the biggest issue because you bought Windows RT, which was their ARM-based thing, and you couldn't run a fucking Windows app on it. You couldn't even run shit from the Windows Store. Like, it was just a gimped version of it's like buying a Chromebook, but except it had fucking Microsoft branding on it. So until the day came where their engineers decided to like make that transition layer, I don't know, they were using like chippy DLLs or something. It was a long story. But they did it so muted, like it wasn't a big fanfare. Like they didn't advertise it anywhere. I didn't even get to hear about it. The only way that I heard that Microsoft was trying to do this was through like some back-end developer PowerPoint shit. It's like if you're gonna make this processor transition, you gotta be really good with it. You gotta make sure it works day one for the consumer out of the box. Because the reason it didn't work is because people like me and Slushii would buy these products. We would expect the same experience, right?
And you wouldn't get it.
No. It's like, what's the point? Like, the Mac M1 works because at the end of the day, even if, like, there are apps that don't support it, because Apple, they're going to support their shit day one out of the box, obviously. You have to be able to support all the apps that people use. What do people buy Macs for? A lot of production work. If that shit doesn't work day one, no one's going to buy it. But somehow it does, with better battery life and pretty much the same performance, and we're all wondering how the fuck that's even happening,
Yeah, how they transitioned to the M1 chip is almost magical. I didn't think it would. I mean, obviously, I'm sure they were working on the operating system to make sure it was ready to go behind the scenes, but even with third-party apps, it's pretty crazy.
Dude, Adobe Premiere Pro working out of the box? Like,
Right.
when I first got the M1 Mac and I was editing a video on it, and I bought the 8 gig version, right? Because the 16 gig would take like 4 weeks to ship. I was blown away, dude. Some of my biggest videos for like the 3-month period were edited entirely on the M1. No crashes, no nothing. Yeah, sure, the render times were a little longer, but it's rendering a fucking video and the thing wouldn't throttle. Like, it wasn't throttling thermally at all.
That's
The thing didn't get hot.
Dude,
I did the whole edit on one charge. One charge.
my
It's not happening.
M1 for music production is as fast as my i9 maxed out.
I don't know how they've been able to do it, man. Apple apparently figured the fucking ARM sauce out, and you know what? It makes their products worth it. I feel like for the longest time, like my only problem with an Apple device was we always paid up the ass for a product, and they always gave us an i9 system that ran at 50% because they were so focused on making it super thin, super quiet, and it's like, you don't get that, okay? That's why gaming laptops are super loud and bulky, because they have to be. You can't have that way.
Yeah.
So when they switched to ARM, I was like, okay, interesting. But if you're going to switch to ARM, you have to be able to like run all those x86 apps. I expected incompatibility. I didn't know this, but I talked to a few people in the Mac world, and they were like, yeah, it's because they have hardware assists on the whole chip. Because the chip has like x86 components assisting it. So I'm like, all right, that's a smart way to fucking do it. But I'm sure they're going to phase that out 4 or 5 years later. All they want to do right now is just have it working in transition. So it's an interesting way, dude. Like, Intel is kind of on their fucking way out. AMD's destroying them from like the desktop to the laptop world, gaming world as well. What is Intel doing anymore? Like, where are they still dominating in?
And
Servers?
Does x86 actually have a future? I'm actually hearing that the whole industry is eventually going to go away from x86 to ARM.
Well, think of it, dude. Think of, Nvidia has like how many billions in ARM right now? Like they bought out ARM, so it's like imagine they're going Microsoft, their next big state. Microsoft wants to go full ARM as well too. Like, ARM is not this like evil thing. Like ARM, like I think this misconception for the last several years, we thought ARM was like relegated to smartphones, weaker hardware. No, it's not, dude. I mean, at some point with ARM, once you get past a lot of the I think there's like a PCI limitation right now on ARM at the moment, because there's a reason why eGPUs aren't working out of the box for M1. But the moment you get past all these limitations, x86, I mean, it'll be here, but ARM's not far behind, man. I mean, shit.
All right, so we'll answer some of these super chats too, and we'll close this because I know Slushii has actually you have a show tonight, right?
I have a show at 12.
At 12, so yeah, we'll bring this
They gotta
term.
prep for that.
Yeah.
Getting before the show.
What's the best way one can help streamers that keep getting swatted? Thinking of Camelot in his recent video, he got swatted.
What?
There's no answer to stopping. All I could tell you is that if you're going to be live streaming, I don't care if you have 3 people that watch you or 3 million. Let your local police departments know, look, this is what I do. If you get a call saying that, someone has a bomb strapped to their chest at my address, it's almost certain that that's not really happening. So the only thing that and a VPN, but VPNs won't really help with that if they're ambitious enough. Just let your local law enforcement know what's going on. I mean,
Have you been swatted before, Rich? Yeah.
A couple times.
Yeah. Fuck, man.
I call them soft swats. I don't know how much you stream, but I stream all the time. I got swatted. And it was one time it was just a cop that showed up because he was a family friend and he kind of knew, like, yeah, you're probably not, holding people hostage.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I think because I know Rich, I know that he's probably not holding everyone hostage in his basement. So I'm going to go check it out. And then the second time, because I told my police department, they came in and it was like, yeah, they came and looked around because they have to.
Yeah.
But I didn't get a gun held up to me. That was just like, hey, we got a call. This happened. Blah 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 blah. So
That's crazy, dude.
it's
Man, that's shit, dude. I mean, I think about it like this. I mean, I've never been swatted yet, but like I do definitely go to like the fucking law enforcement. Actually, no, that's bullshit. I did actually have one thing, but I did go to the police station, like you said, and I told them, and they do call you. But if you miss that call, then the SWAT happens, Like if you don't fucking answer the call.
yeah,
when
that's
they
what
hit you,
happened to DSP. I think that he missed the call, and that's why it turned into a shit show. I don't know. Look, you could think I'm a piece of garbage. You could think that either you could not like Slushii, you could not like Mooner, you could, think that I'm a fat bastard. That's fine. You could make 30 videos talking about how I'm a fat piece of shit. Just leave people's houses alone, though. Don't, like, you could dislike, like Steven Crowder. I don't agree with a lot of his takes, but I wish him the best. I don't want to see the guy die. And to me, especially what happened, I believe it was in Arkansas, where that person was shot during a swatting. Like, I knew that was eventually going to fucking happen. And that guy's a fucking sociopath. He was bragging. He went on his Twitter account in jail through, like, one of the kiosks because he found a way to hack into it and run Twitter, and he was saying how good his life was in jail. So, yeah. Just let your police department know. I know I'm going off topic. And be fucking careful, man. because
Well, that's the best way to do it, man. I mean, if you guys, you got to let your law enforcement agents know, because what they're getting on their call is like, hey, this guy has a bomb in his house, or there's a hostage situation. They're gonna SWAT you. They're gonna, like, these SWATings, like when they bust into your house, they expect it to be the worst.
the worst.
And you can't blame them. Like, that's what they're trained for. Like, the SWAT teams bust in. You got people who are trained for shit like counterterrorism, and if they hear that fucking Rich is like holding 4 people hostage with a gun to their head, oh, they're gonna come in flashbangs full aware and like go at you, you know?
Yeah, and that's why you'll get if you let them know first, they'll be like, all right, wait, don't have your like rifle pointed at them as soon as it's probably nothing. It's almost guaranteed to be nothing. So that's honestly your best weapon. You know, no pun intended. If you that was probably the wrong wording, is to let them know, and it'll make your chances of anything crazy happening virtually none. And yes, it'll eventually happen because people are pieces of shit. Heard of Kudos crypto project to let you stake computing power from your consoles or something like that eventually. Sounds like there is a metric ton that could go wrong with that. Yeah. You're going to have...
It's like folding at home, dude, except without the benefits of cancer research.
Yeah, it's the benefits of someone probably doing a pump and dump and using your console as fucking computing power. Saggy Melons, that name I'll never get over. Slushii, I love you and need you. I love the hair. Thank you. You're right, though. PS5 not worth it right now because, yes, you got the PS3. Also, long love the amico. Also, hi, Rich. Hi, other gentlemen. I'm not a gentleman.
Hey.
I'm a large man on the internet. Ratchet and Clank is 5 hours and 40% cutscenes. Yes, we talked about that before. It literally is. And
it looks good, though. It's got ray tracing.
It does have ray tracing. And holy fucking super chats. I don't want to miss anybody. I see something from Google Fish. He's probably going to ask Slushii if he could send him a picture of Henry Cavill's thighs.
Nope.
So Activision Blizzard we answered that one. It's a big club and you were not in it. Oh my God. Imagine being so rich and not going to a red light district country. Yeah, Bill Gates. I don't know why he wants to explore his coworkers' holes. Stephen Curry is the new Subway guy. Quad fart. I have to press my fart button 4 times.
Whoa! 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 Whoa!
Oh, there it is.
There it is. Yeah, isn't that pleasant? So politicians are spreading their cheeks and letting rich go to town. Who? What politician is it? Is it Mitch McConnell? He looks like a turtle, so he's the most best looking one. What is the Artie Lang Dong? Who said Artie Lang Dong? Did I say that? I don't even remember. Oh my God, Muda just put a VPN in me already. Oh yeah, you're anti-VPN, aren't you?
No, I made my own VPN using the Google Cloud providers.
Did you really?
I was so pissed. Yeah, I did. I had a video on it because I was so pissed with all these sponsorships because like they wouldn't answer my questions, right? About like, hey, can you tell me how your servers are running? Because I want to know if you're logging data, right? Because I wanted to know what kind of servers do you have. They weren't able to answer that, right? They weren't even able to tell me that they were complying with laws. So I was like, I'm not going to shill your VPN if you're not going to tell me the basic shit. So I got so pissed dealing with these companies. But it was just like, I'm just going to make my own fucking VPN. So I fucking used a Git script and then I changed a couple things around. And I built it in the Google Cloud provider. So I'm like, I'll just use Google's cloud service, encrypt my traffic, and fuck you guys. Like, I don't give a shit. I don't trust you.
As a person who actually has a sponsor of a VPN, I'll still let you be. What is your take on VPNs? It's okay to be brutally honest.
I appreciate VPNs. Like, if it's one VPN and I'm not paid by these guys, I actually use ExpressVPN myself.
That's my sponsor, but continue.
I use ExpressVPN because, like, when I talk to them...
This was
like,
not premeditated.
yeah.
I don't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry, because I know they're going to think that. This is not premeditated. He's
No,
not sponsored.
No, I'm not. When I talk to them, like, they were the only ones, and I've done a sponsorship for them once, where they were like, I asked them what their servers were, and they were like, we have RAM-based servers, we don't comply with laws, and they told me how it works, and I was like, all right, this is how a VPN should operate. And then I look at every other VPN, and they're like, we use hard drives. And I'm like, so you cache data? I'm like, you can't just say no, you fucking lying pieces of shit. But so that's the whole reason I built another VPN that runs in the Google Cloud provider service. And surprisingly, dude, it's not as expensive as you think. You know, if you want to download a couple things off of the internet.
So wait, you made your own VPN?
Yeah, so I went to Google Cloud Services. I got like a developer account, and then I've made a virtual machine inside that. And so like you can just basically, I power it up through my phone when I need to, and I connect to it on my phone. So when the VM is spinned up, I can connect to it, and then I can just do all my stuff through Google services. So Netflix, no one will ban it because it's a Google IP, and they use their services anyways. It's like, what are you gonna fucking friendly fire? And when I'm done using it, I just turn off the VM in the cloud, and I'm done. I'm out of it.
That is fucking amazing, and that makes my head hurt. But that's absolutely incredible. So
well, it's like you know when you use Netflix and it's like, we've noticed you're using a proxy, and I'm like, okay, fine, Netflix, who's your cloud provider? Oh, Amazon. Okay, so then I go to Amazon and I make an EC2 account, and I'm like, all right, fine, let me just fire up a virtual machine here, set up a VPN, and all of a sudden it's like, what are you gonna do? Fucking friendly fire on your own cloud provider? Sure, try banning it now. Fuck you.
wait, so like they track your IPs at like Netflix, and if you're using a proxy, they get pissed off at you.
Yeah, well, if you're using a proxy like ExpressVPN or NordVPN, like they just have data centers around the world that, you know, look like something that's, it's not ExpressVPN, but it's like, you know, random service number A released in like the United States. So they blacklist those IPs, and that's why they have to keep shifting them around. So each VPN is dangerous to work with because it's like, you know, some of them get banned, some of them are on top of this. So what I do is, since I know fucking Netflix works with Amazon and they're billing to Amazon, so I just use the Amazon EC2's cloud, and I just host the VPN in there, and I'm like, so what are you going to do? You're going to ban your own cloud provider? Like you use their service. You can't fucking blacklist Amazon's cloud.
There'll be no Netflix if that happens, because you're using their service.
Yeah.
So, all right, American healthcare, have money or die. Yes, pretty much. I've seen plenty of people who had good insurance to get denied medicine from facilities. You need to be rich or die like a peasant. Yeah, that's the other myth that people don't like. Oh, if you have insurance, why are you bitching? Like, you don't get it. You can have insurance, and I've seen it happen where they deny your fucking claim anyway, because some doctor that works in the ivory tower looked at one piece of paperwork and said, yeah, you're fine. You don't need it. Pretty sure Crowder said he had complications, which he's still in the hot. Yeah, but that's, dude, he's relatively young. He's younger than me, and he's in the hospital with some kind of heart complication. Like, that's not cool. The stream is missing something. I was shirtless. Also, Some Ordinary Gamers, what is up? Will you do more SWAT for vids? I really like those vids.
Absolutely.
And I even bought it on GOG.
God bless GOG.
Love both your content. Glad to see this again. I'm stuck on the stream, so I'm enjoying... Man, why is my voice going hoarse? I'm stuck on the stream, enjoying this great stream with three great gentlemen. May the cucumber never fade, Rich. It will not. Stuck on the train. Okay, now I know what you meant. Do you want some of Boogie's toothpaste? Fuck no, you're talking about his sperm.
Boogie.
You were talking
Boogie's
about his sperm.
toothpaste.
Watch
Ooh.
my previous video where Boogie was on. We were all shirtless, so you may want to just listen to the audio. And
Boogie was on shirtless?
we were all shirtless.
Apparently so.
Yes.
Wow, that's hot.
I just realized I had 6 of these, and they're seltzers with caffeine, so I'm going to be fucked.
Let's go.
Tell Muda I farted. Congratulations.
Congrats, man. Good
Yeah.
shit. Me too.
Everyone
Several times.
Chug 2 G Fuels gets rid of hangover headache easy. Dude, there's no amount of caffeine that will get rid of my hangover. There's none. Ever. I've tried it. I've tried everything.
just drink more.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
No, then
You can't have a hangover if you're perpetually, you know.
Yeah, but then I
under the
shit a
influence.
lot. Then I don't win. Then my asshole's on fire.
You're acting like that's a bad thing, dude. Who doesn't like a good shit? Come
No,
on.
yes, no. When the star, let's keep it real, when your hole starts burning, that is not a good feeling. When you have to shit
yeah.
30 times and you're
That's
just
true.
and
You
it
got
feels
so
like
much
someone
happy
put
after.
sandpaper lit on fire in your asshole. Do not tell me that's enjoyable. And
No,
that's what
I
happened
agree,
to
that's
me.
bad.
Yes, thank you.
After the fourth shit,
Yes,
Yeah.
after like the 4th shit, it's like,
I'm
oh
trying
my
to get-
god, this is razors. This is razors.
yeah, it's not fun anymore.
It's like when you go to a country that doesn't have good fucking water, and you drink the water,
That's
And
what
you're just stuck. Yeah, you're stuck in there for like 2 days, just like
Oh, it's
fucking
like
cleaning the
Mexico.
system.
Well, when people go to Mexico, they tell you just to drink alcohol.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, Rich, been watching both you and Mudar since 2012. I'm 27 now. Thank you for making me feel like an old fuck, but thank you. It's absolutely,
old.
dude. Dude, I'm 40. I feel better than I did at 30, but I'm 40, and that's I'm old. I'm gonna have to start getting fisted at my doctor old. It's absolutely insane how quick time flies, and that's true, by the way. So glad to see how big your channels have become. Buddha is way more successful than me. The recognition is definitely well-deserved. Here's some love. Have a good night. But Buddha has fucking amazing videos. That's what happens. You three are some great YouTubers, and Slushii makes... I want to talk to Slushii later, or obviously you have a show tonight, but later this week about what software you use.
Sure.
Has everyone forgotten the masterpieces of the Soldier console? Oh, I wish I could talk about something.
Did you get it, man? Did you ordered one? I was about to buy it.
I can't talk. I can't talk about it. I'm not kidding. I'm not trying to be melodramatic. I can't talk about it, but there's
you getting sued? What the fuck?
No, I'm not getting sued. It's actually a positive thing.
With Soldier Boy.
I have some magic that may be happening that I can't talk about, but no, no, I haven't forgot them. Remember, they were adding 5G. Oh, they were the reason why it was delayed after I had called them out. They were adding 5G for no fucking reason, and I believe they were adding an OLED screen for no fucking reason.
But you can download Fortnite at like razor fast speeds if you have the 5G turtle pocket. What the fuck?
Yes, with the one analog stick, that will make for the ultimate competitive Fortnite experience.
Doesn't it have a touchscreen as well?
Oh yeah, sorry. Oh yeah, so yes, you could sit there.
Yeah,
so you could flick it like a nipple, and then you could sit there like this, like in the DS back. And remember, you played Mario 64 on the DS. You had to use the stylus. Dude. The stylus as the analog stick. Who thought that was a good idea?
Oh God, man! Look, I like the DS, but the control schemes on those games, it's not cutting it.
From a technical perspective, like holy crap! At the time, especially, you're playing a 3D Mario game. Now I switch back to Mario, really? Mario. On the go. And then you play it, and it's like, oh my god, I'm playing this with a D-pad. This is suffering. This is fucking pain.
But you can control the camera with...
Yes, you could sit there, and imagine how awkward that must have looked like. You hear da-da-da-da-da, and you're like this. So, all right. So you three are some great YouTubers. Thank you very much. I turned 30 today, and it feels weird. I don't feel like where I want to be, but I'm on my way to it. Just feel weird. Dude, I've been there where I was 20 and life was weird, and 30 and life was weird, and 40 and you're like, where the hell am I? But that's... Life is a journey, man. I know that's very generic, but it is fucking true.
Can I ask you about the Blue Box, by the way?
I'm going to talk. I know.
Blue Balls Game Studio.
I know the cat that where they abandoned every fucking game they made, from what I've read. Like this is like what they're known for. I don't understand why. I'll probably talk about it tomorrow. I'll talk about that tomorrow in a video.
Oh man, did you see? They finally released their trailer, man. The real-time experience. Did you see it?
No, I didn't. I saw nothing about it.
Man, when you see it, holy fuck! I need a live reaction when you fucking see it, dude. Woo! You could literally fire it up on your PlayStation right now, and it's only 3 seconds long. I'm just gonna tell you right now, it's a 3-second long.
Is it experience. It's in game? It's not like just a fucking video file. It's in game.
It's in game. It's in game. It's a 6 GB file, and you only see like maybe 2 textures.
Wait, what is it?
It's a dude walking like 3 steps. It's shot out of the ground. So like it's shot like no imagine. I'll give you guys a live experience of it. So this is the floor, right?
Yes.
This is the whole like experience. That's it. Done.
That's fucking game of the year. That's game of the. That's hey man. That is a game that I could complete. That'll be the first fucking game I complete in like 15 fucking years. I can complete it.
You guys know that. You know that one like blooper reel, like that one news anchor, he just like standing over there and shit, and like they send him like the image of the what was it like? It's like some fucking police sketch, and it's the worst police sketch in the world, and the anchor looks at him, they're like, huh, like they're about to burst out laughing. That was me when I saw it, because I expected big things. I was like, man, what is this fucking experience?
Because there's been a hype around it, yeah.
So when I watch it, I'm like, no, no, because I see it on YouTube. I'm like, no. So I open up my console, I download it. It's a 15-minute download because the servers are getting fucking destroyed. And then I watch it. I'm like, no, this was actually.
Oh, I'm gonna play it and make a video.
Yeah, you're not gonna play it and make it rich. You can't play it and make a video. You'll probably be doing something else, and the experience will be done in front of you. It is the fucking worst thing
Maybe
I've
I'll
seen.
live stream it tomorrow too. If is it really? Are you're not exaggerating at all?
3 seconds. 3 seconds. It's like they make a big deal out of it, dude. The ESRB rating that tells you it's not age appropriate is longer than the experience.
Oh, that's gonna be entertaining.
It's
For
like
all the
they
wrong
make a big
reasons.
deal. It's like this experience is running on PS5 hardware, and it's the camera aimed to the floor. I'm like, oh wow, it must be really fucking pushing the PS5 to its limits, guys.
the fucking draw distance of 3 feet.
But then it's like 48 hours. I was like, man, how long does it take to render this? Like, what frame rate issues were you having rendering the fucking floor? Like, what?
So it sounds like the engine's unoptimized like shit too.
It's sounding like they're not releasing it, dude. It's like the other 5 games.
Does Muda know about the shit show? Yeah, we talked about it, and we moved on. Among Us Chungus is here, baby. Imposters beware. I can see all sussy bakas. Complete your task, my dudes, and don't sabotage yourself. I think Necro Banana gets like a fortune cookie and reads it when he comes to my live streams, and that's where you get your super chats from. I figured it out. My girlfriend jam out to Slushii at the gym every day. There, dude, that's fucking awesome, man.
Thanks, dude.
I told you I'm jealous of you because you're like, I wanted to be a musician in my other life, and I forgot to the goddamn activation for Windows came on again. It actually wasn't on before.
Rich, switch to Linux. Fuck, man.
I'm
Fuck the
too
system.
much of a smooth brain idiot to use Linux.
Rich, if I could do it, anyone can do it.
Yes, and you're smarter than me. Don't even fucking
Rich, I get stoned every time I have to compile shit. You do not. You got to realize
I'm stoned right now and I can't even form a fucking sentence. So you're compiling shit. I can't count to 10 with my fucking fingers when I'm stoned, or sober too. But so fatal error. Yes, go activate Windows. But I think we have to cut the stream more so because I know Slushii actually has a show. So,
yeah. I gotta get back to editing this fucking 2-hour-long crypto investigation.
Yes.
Fuck, man, I hate my life.
hey, dude, but those videos are amazing. So check out Slushii. He's on YouTube. Some Ordinary Gamers. I'm sure if you're sub to me, you're already sub to him anyway. But go check him out if you're not. And thank you so much, everybody, for coming through. Thank you, Slushii. Thank you, Some Ordinary Gamers. And I will be back tomorrow with content that isn't talking about other YouTubers. Have a good one.
All right, man. See you guys.
And we're out. Yeah, Slushii.